Hello, hello, and welcome back, everyone. I'm A Squared Gamer, and we are back for another day of streaming. I was just posting that I'm going live on my YouTube, my Instagram, and my Twitter. I'm A Squared Gamer on all of them except Twitter, where I'm A Squared GMR. So go ahead and give me a follow if you'd like. And we're all set now, so we can get back at it. Another day of Crusader Kings 3. I think I need to edit my title. There you go. Still had the title from last stream. And what happened last stream? Speaking of which, it's loud, isn't it? Okay, so let's continue the game and see if we can remember what happened last time. Well, on the opening screen, you saw that on my left, it was no longer my son. It was a girl, and that's because my son passed away. It's unfortunate. He whipped himself to death. Gotta be careful when you whip yourself. You don't severely injure yourself. It's always a risk. And because he passed away, my player heir, rather than passing on to one of my other children, instead it remains within the firstborn. So it assumes, the way succession usually works in olden times, and maybe even in today times, I don't know, is that if the primary heir passes away, succession assumes that he had become king and then passed away. So then whoever his heir would have been becomes your heir. So if I had died and my son had took over and then he died, then the next king would have been his eldest child, not his eldest son, because our religion has equal gender laws. And so it doesn't go to the eldest son, it goes to the eldest child. And his eldest child is her. So she would become queen. And even though he did not become king, he passed away before he could do so. Succession laws assume that he did, and so it continues on down the line to the eldest child of the eldest child, rather than it going to my second child. No, we're going with the first option, and so she becomes my player heir. So if I die, she will become the new Queen of Valencia, which looks pretty big on the map now. I'm pretty happy about it. And if she ends up dying before me, which I don't think will happen because she's 19 years old in good health, and I'm 65. Even though my health is fine, I'm still 65. So she should outlive me. If for whatever unfortunate reason she does not, then the next king will still not be one of my children. It will be her primary heir, which is her first child. Right here. This 2-year-old who has both of these traits, which is perfect because eventually I will play as her, barring any unforeseen circumstance. Eventually I will play as Lucia here. And I like that she has both traits. So that's good. That happened last time with my son dying. Fortunately as well, all of the preparation I made in terms of succession ended up not being upended by his death. So she will still receive the Kingdom of Valencia, the Duchy of Valencia, as well as all the little counties and temples within. But she will also receive this little piece of land which her father owned before he passed away. The only thing that got messed up a little is that her father also owned this little piece of land up here. However, she will not receive that because she has a bunch of siblings. And their father only had 2 pieces of land, and she was the primary heir. So she gets 1 land, and the second piece of land goes to the second child because there's not enough land to pass around to all the other children. So if you see here, he had 5 children. She gets all of his, she gets half of his land because it's only 2 counties. So she got 1 county. He got the second county. And then these 3, unfortunately, there was not enough land, so they get nothing. And a lot of other stuff happened as well, but they were all minor stuff. Like my brother, the Duke of Corsica, over here, ended up conquering the entire island of Sardinia. Can I zoom in on this? No, let me control click. Yeah, so he conquered Cagliari and Logudoro and Arborea, these 3 counties. And what else happened? The Aghlabids continued their encroachment on Tahert lands, so they keep expanding. Currently, they are the Aghlabid Sultanate. It looks like they're trying to reform the Aghlabid Empire. In order to do so, you need at least 2 kingdoms, aka sultanates. And so they're trying to reconquer Tahert. And if they do so, they can name themselves an empire again. And it's unfortunate because the last time they did this, they very quickly, their very next goal was to go north. And they took the islands. And then they came and took my county, and then they took all of France. Speaking of France, however, all of their broken up little territories have consolidated into basically 3 big ones. There are still a few other tiny territories, like Flanders, Lille, Anjou, and Brittany. And even Bellac in here. This little piece still belongs to the Aghlabids. It's their last holding within French lands. But the rest of France has consolidated into the Kingdom of Burgundy, the Duchy of Orleans, and the Duchy of Aquitaine. These 3, Orleans here cuts right through the middle of North Aquitaine and South Aquitaine. These 3 territories are the front runners for who will become the next king of France. I think one of them needs to be taken out by the other in order to form the Kingdom of France. I also have some land in here as well. If I control click my kingdom, you see I have the Duchy of Bourbon, the Duchy of Auvergne, and the Duchy of Toulouse. 3 French duchies, all within my kingdom. I also had the Duchy of Burgundy before, but the Duchy of Orleans here took it from me. They went to war with me, and I didn't really want to fight with them over this piece of land here, so I just surrendered the war instantly. It ended the war, and they managed to keep their land, but I was able to save the gold it would have cost me to rise up my military and fight in a very close war, because I believe Orleans has 3,500 soldiers, and I have 3,500 soldiers, so it would have been a very close war. So it would have been time consuming, it would have been gold consuming, and it would have been pointless because it was over this little bit of land here that I didn't really even want in the first place. So I just gave it to them. But because I did that, now Orleans land cuts in between some of my land, and I have this, I believe geographically the correct term to use is enclave, where it's a piece of land I own that's away from the rest of my land, that is not connected to the rest of my land, but is inside someone else's land. And so Valencia has this little county, I believe it's Chalon. Okay, so it's in the Duchy of Auvergne, and yes, the county of Chalon. Chalon? Chalon? I don't know the correct pronunciation. I'm going to call it Chalon for now. But now I own this little piece of land here. Just like Burgundy owns this little piece of land here. And Aquitaine is split in half. So most of us are split up. Orleans is the only one that's all connected. I'm not sure if that, in reality, that would be a good thing. In the game, I'm not sure whether that helps or hurts Orleans, that they're not split up like this. I would assume it helps. But you never know. Because it's split up, you can always raise your army here. So, for instance, let me see someone who's really split up. So, Khazaria, for instance, if they were to declare war on the Oghuz right here, they could raise their armies here and then travel this way through another country to get to Oghuz. Or they could raise their army here in their mainland and sail here to Oghuz. But because they own this little piece of land here, they can just raise their army here and immediately attack them across the border. So for the game, this is an advantage of having tiny little counties exist outside of your mainland. However, in reality, that's not always a good thing. As you could guess why colonial empires broke apart. Another thing that happened last time on Crusader Kings 3 is that Castile and Navarra were split up into these columns, these rows. Rows is the correct word, but I don't even know how this happened. Castile owned this piece of land here, Najera. No, Navarra here owned Najera. So Navarra was connected through here, and then I took Najera, which basically split up Navarra, who had previously split up Castile, because Castile used to own Najera, and they used to own this little piece of land here, Soria, and Navarra took Soria from them, and then took Burgos from them, because Navarra used to only exist up here. And then they came down here, took these two from Castile, splitting Castile up, and then I took this, splitting Navarra up. So now Navarra and Castile are split into these columns, or these rows. The reason I keep mistaking it with columns is because originally they're supposed to exist in columns. If I look at kingdom titles, you see there's Navarra, then there's Castile, then there's Leon, and then there's Galicia. They exist in columns going north to south. But somehow the game ended up making them. And before I say that, you can see that I own most of Navarra. So if I wanted to, I can usurp the title of Navarra if we were of the same religion. Unfortunately, they're Catholic, and I belong to the religion I created, Bernatism. I called it Bernathian, but I just realized, can I edit this? I don't think I can. Rather than calling it Bernatian, I think I could have very easily just called it Bernatic. And then I'd be a Bernatic. That's an incredibly unfortunate missed opportunity there. Because I would have loved to just been Bernatic. That would have been so much better. This is one of those situations where you don't think of the right thing to say until you're already walked away from the conversation. I feel like that right now, where the name would have been so much better if I called them Bernatic. We can see that my religion exists up here as well, even though that is not currently my land. It's in Orleans, but that's because that is the former duchy of the Duchy of Burgundy, which used to be my land. So my land went as far north as here, but no longer, which is why this Bernatic, I'm just going to start using Bernatic from now on, even if that's not what it's actually called. But these Bernatic people up here exist because that used to be my land. But you can see the religion I created has spread to just about all of my territory. This blue line on the map here represents my land, and it has spread to almost all of my land. There's a few exceptions. There's a large Catholic proportion here, and then there's some Asharis here in the south and in these two counties and these two counties. Unfortunately, I cannot get rid of them because we are currently in the Iberian struggle, and the struggle is currently in the conciliation phase. And during the conciliation phase, I cannot... Well, actually, let me look at the effect itself rather than just showing it to you. Faith effects. Nope, that's not it. How about other effects? Cannot execute. Okay. Nope, that's not it. How about culture effects? I don't see it here either. But one of the effects is that I cannot convert culture or faith within Iberia. Oh, here it is. Convert faith in county is disabled within the struggle region. And I think convert culture as well. If I go to the culture effects. I don't see it. Does that mean I can convert culture? Obviously, I just showed you that I cannot convert faith, but if I tried to convert culture, can I do so? I can. So I can convert culture, but I cannot convert faith within Iberia. Not within my kingdom. Iberia ends right here. The Iberian Peninsula. Right here at this mountain range that separates France up here from Spain in modern day, or from the Iberian Peninsula. It's this mountain range right here and these little mountains. And so everything north of that mountain range, I can convert no problem because it's not part of the struggle. So yeah, those are some of the things that happened last time. And so for today, our goal is the same as what our goal was last time, which is to get our religion some holy sites. Currently, we hold none of them. You can see the religious icon next to the coat of arms of the city where the site is in, or the coat of arms of the country, the kingdom or duchy or whatever that currently holds the site. So the Kingdom of England holds the Holy Site of Canterbury, and it is run by a Catholic duke. You can see Catholic for the Kingdom of Galicia and Santiago. The Holy Roman Empire holds Cologne, and the papacy holds Rome. Meanwhile, Jerusalem is being held by Ashari faith, by the Tulunid Sultanate. So you can see Jerusalem over here in deep green Ashari. You have a little bit of Catholic here. That's when Aleppo became independent, but they were very quickly conquered by the Tapirids, who are Ashari. No, they're not Ashari. They're Imami, which is another Muslim faith. Meanwhile, the Vatican here is in deep white Catholic territory, as is Cologne and Canterbury. However, if you look at the kingdoms, the papacy holds the Vatican, the Holy Roman Empire holds Cologne, and then England holds Canterbury. Yes. Just barely. It used to be held by Scandinavia, who held the entire British Isles, but they lost most of it. As you can see, they still hold these two slivers here. But Scotland and England came back, as did Yarmaland, which broke apart. Yarmaland? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And so the closest holy site that I can get to my kingdom is Santiago over here, currently held by Galicia. And so that is why my goal is to slowly creep my way westward, because this holy site is within our struggle within Iberia, and I'm currently focusing on Iberia, which is why when I lost Corsica, which a previous character originally held, our mother originally held it, and when she died, I gained Valencia. At the time, it was Barcelona. I gained Barcelona. And my brother gained Corsica. But our mother held both of them. But I was okay with losing Corsica because it is not part of the Iberian struggle. So I'm okay with my brother becoming the Duke of these islands. And when we fought a crusade for Sicily, back when I was still Catholic, the beneficiary I assigned as my brother's son. And so when I died, my brother's son became, or when we won the crusade, I was the biggest, not beneficiary, I was the biggest contributor. So my beneficiary ended up becoming the one who gained the title of King of Sicily. So now the Kingdom of Sicily is ruled by a branch of my house, my brother's branch. Currently, his eldest child is the King of Sicily. And so when my brother passes away, I believe my eldest child, or his eldest child, will gain some of this land. So some of this land will become part of the Kingdom of Sicily, while the rest of it will be split up to his other remaining child, this guy, who currently holds this county. So I assume he will remain with this county, but he will become independent once his father dies, my brother. So I'm okay with all of that because my goal is Iberia. I want to, now that I have the Kingdom of Valencia, I want to conquer the rest of Galicia and gain the Empire of Hispania. To do this, however, I would need not just to conquer all of Iberia, but I would also need to end the struggle, the Iberian struggle. And this struggle is the Crusader Kings version of the Reconquista. So the goal of this struggle is to push the Muslim rulers out of Iberia. So the Catholics are trying to reconquer Iberia. When the game started, this green Ashari wave was much higher. And now as the game has gone on and the struggle has gone on, and I've been part on the Catholic side for most of it, we have pushed the green slowly further back. Mozarabic here is actually a Christian faith, not a Muslim faith. And so really what we're dealing with are the Ashari pockets and the Muwaladi, who are huge. Why are they so big? They did not used to be so big, but Isbailia has gotten really big and they believe in Muwaladi. Muwaladism. Ooh, that was loud. I wonder how I can turn off Windows notifications. I don't like that. So my goal is, like I said, to slowly creep west and get Santiago over here, the county of Santiago. Now to do so, I will slowly take these lands. Navarra and Castile look very weak. Castile has 700 soldiers and they're allied to Navarra. She's allied to her husband. Oh, her husband is the Duke of this little place here. Okay. So he has 120 and she has 760. Together that's about 900 soldiers. Meanwhile, Navarra only has 23, but that's because I was just at war with them. So they have a truce. Or rather, I have a truce with them. Which means they have a truce with me. So let's look at our truces. I have a truce with Isbailia for 4 more years. Truce with Navarro for 7 years. Yes. So I cannot declare war on Navarro for 7 years. I mean, I could, but then that would cost me a bunch of prestige. It would be a penalty that the game would give me for breaking a truce. And so I believe I'm not just waiting to die, am I? I don't think I am. Let me see. These are the wars I can declare. I can declare war on Galicia? Oh, for a relic, not for any land. I heard I don't want to, nor Italy. I can declare war on Castile. What would I take from the Aghlabids? I don't know why I could take this piece of land. But I could take their French territories. That would be nice. The Duchy of Gascon. I don't think I want to, but that's nice to know I could if I wanted to. Who else? Who else can get it? The Adrerids, I'd be the one getting it there, so we're not doing that. Ooh, I can declare war on Cordoba. That's new. Huh. So these 3 counties, Yayan, Calatrava, and Uklish. Let me see, these 3 counties are... Okay, they're 2 different religions. If I look at the cultures, they're all Andalusian. We've been pushing the religion back, but we have not pushed the culture back. So the Andalusians are still heavy in Iberia. But this is a good example of how many Muslims there were in Iberia when the game started. They were all this Andalusian land, all the way up to here, was all Muslim. And now when you look at the map, it's much fewer. So we've been focusing well on pushing Muslims out, but apparently we have not focused on pushing Andalusians out. The best way to do that would be to convert them to my religion, or to my culture, Catalan, which we are currently doing. This is what you see, those yellow stripes across their land, is because the ruler of this land is Catalonian. And so I believe I've also used my power as king to direct these vassals to promote our culture. Why is she so flushed? Oh, is it because she's a drunkard? Even though it's a health penalty, her health is still good. But yeah, she is visibly flushed. And that's not just a female thing, because her older sister is not flushed. They do look very similar, though. So the game did a good job. Oh, wow, her eyes are red as well. This is why you shouldn't be a drunkard, kids. See, I think my goal at the moment will be to attack Castile. I think I want the Duchy of Cantabria, but I don't think I can get the Duchy of Cantabria. Let me look here. Cordoba, Burgundy, and Orleans. I don't want to attack any of them. Who can I pardon? I don't think I want to do any of those either. And so if I declare war on Castile, okay, Cuenca, I could take Madrid, their capital. I could take Cuellar, or I could take Amaya. I think I want Amaya to get closer to Galicia. And then I'll take all of Leon, and then I will take this county from Galicia. So I will worm myself over to Santiago in order to get that holy site under my control. But I don't think I want to declare that war at the moment. What is my military look like? Leon Castillo. Actually, I think I do want to declare this war at the moment. Especially since I'm the king at the moment, and I'm a very war-fighty king. I'm very martial focused. As I've gotten older, I've gotten more learning focused. But originally, I was martial focused. This is why my education trait is a martial education. But once my granddaughter takes over, she's heavily learning focused. Yeah, so I will take care of the wars for her. Don't worry, I'll take care of it, and then you can focus on stabilizing the land after I die. So we will take Amaya. Declare that war. And then where is my flag to raise my military? Oh, it's right here. This is perfect. I guess I can move it over here. And then I only need my men-at-arms. I don't need my full military. The more I raise, the more it'll cost me per month. So it's good to not raise your full military if you don't need to. And for this battle, I do not need to. So there's all of them. And then I can go... Can I siege out a city? I don't think I can. No, I can't. And so let's go straight to their castle. Wait, let's not do that. My marshal just finished increasing control in Al-Barasin, right here. And so he can now focus on organized army. Let's keep him there because it lowers the gold cost for maintaining a raised army. So I don't need to be there when my army is not raised, but since they are raised, if I were to take him away from that, the cost would go up by 24%. So if I were to put him on trained commanders, I'm losing 3.4 gold per month. If I were to keep him on organized army, I'm actually gaining 0.2 gold per month. So it's 3.6 gold worth of money that he's saving me per month. So I'm definitely keeping him on organized army. Meanwhile, my military, rather than sieging that, let's double back. Oh, it looks like they're already there. Never mind then, you can stay there. I wanted to catch this army, but let's start the siege first. It's only going to last 3 months. So we'll be able to siege this place out before they get anywhere to do anything. The siege only has a month left. Meanwhile, Tudela here is under siege, and that'll take them 11 months. So I have plenty of time to siege out Amaya and then have my military double back and take them out and end this siege of Tudela. Meanwhile, my court chaplain has finished converting faith in Bazirs, which is all the way up here. So if I look at the faith map, there's no more Catholics in my northern lands. Which is unfortunate because I can no longer have her convert faith. No valid targets for this task because the rest of my land is in Iberia, and like I mentioned earlier, part of the struggle conciliation phase is that I cannot convert faith. So right now she's focusing on giving me piety per month. I don't think I care about that. Fabricate a claim, which will help me declare war on someone else. Right now I can declare war on anyone in Iberia because again we're part of the struggle. So when you saw me declare war, you saw that I chose struggle clash. Without a struggle being in effect, the only other way to declare war on anyone else is to have a claim on their land. So you need to have some reason for why this land should belong to you. And this is where these titles come in, the duchy titles, the kingdom titles, and the empire titles. Because if you become the Emperor of Hispania, but you don't hold this land, then you can just declare war on them, and your claim is, I'm the Empire of Hispania, and your land is historically part of the Empire of Hispania. So it should be mine, and so I'm going to take it. Tell me whether that sounds familiar in modern day, if you're familiar with current world news. behaving like they're playing a game. But if I do not have a quote-unquote valid reason for that, I could always have my court chaplain fabricate a claim where she starts searching through all the papers at the bottom of all the cabinets and finds one contract where someone didn't dot an I or cross a T, and say, hey, look, because of this, technically this land should belong to me. And so I can have her do that for any piece of land I border. Or not even border. For any piece of land currently highlighted in green, I can do that. But not for land highlighted in gray. So yeah, I can go to Constantinople and have her fabricate a claim on why Constantinople should belong to me. Look at how heavily built Constantinople is. And now you understand why, development-wise, they're the highest on the map. Or another way to put that is, they're the yellowest on the map. Because of all those little buildings you see there. And then Rome is also fairly yellow. So when you zoom in on yellow, I think it's actually the most yellow. It's yellower than Constantinople. So if you zoom in on Rome, you'll see the Vatican. You'll see the Colosseum. Yeah. But that was a tangent. This thing popped up. What is this? Ispelia wants to play chess with me. Helps me lose stress, so that's good. So I will accept that. Let's play a quick game of chess. He's already waiting to begin our little chess match. He sat waiting with a competitive grimace writ large across his features. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. I generally don't know which is easier, laments my opponent, beating you at chess or telling the tale of your embarrassing loss. Okay, so what's he good at? He has 23 learning, which is the same as me. But he's not good at anything else. Right? Diplomacy doesn't matter. This is martial, intrigue, and learning. Yeah, martial and intrigue are his two worst stats. Meanwhile, my intrigue is even worse than his. So I will only be selecting martial or learning. Because his learning is so high, he'll probably choose learning. And learning is countered by martial. So I will choose martial. My martial mind makes me unbeatable. Our match marches on. He's continuing with a few well-worn traditional tactics. Naturally, my techniques cunningly foil my opponent. I'm in the lead for now, though neither of us is even close to victory. Can't lead soldiers, moans my opponent. Can't play chess. What good am I? Okay, so I play chess like I fight, savagely. I assume he'll choose learning again. Ooh, did I just win? Usually it takes 3 steps to win. Did I just win in 2? With a roar of triumph. And he took it personally as well, so I assume I just won. I surged to my feet, scattering pieces everywhere. God has witnessed my triumph today. From the start, I had complete trust that God would see me as the victor. There could be no other way. A desolate Abd al-Hazam remained seated, hands on his haunches, trying to comprehend where he went wrong. Okay, I can say good game and I win the game and then that's it. How does it feel to lose, little man? And he becomes my rival, or I'd love to play again sometime. And I lose 7 stress because I am forgiving, on top of the stress I have already lost. And then there's a diplomacy challenge, where we can either grow closer to forming a friendship, or he loses 30 opinion of me. %68% chance of success. If I have my wife go to court politics, which gives me +7 diplomacy, that 68% chance now becomes 81%. So either my opponent will agree it was a good game, or he'll make an obscene gesture and leave. Oh yeah, he agreed it was a good game. So you can go back to assisting ruler. And he gained 15 opinion of me. And did I lose stress? I did. I'm still over 100, but at least I'm not close to 200 anymore like I was before. Meanwhile, I'm losing 1.8 gold per month. I don't know why, because these numbers indicate I'm making 15.8 and I'm losing 15.5. So I should be making in total, if I did my first grade math correctly, 3 or 0.3 gold per month. Let me see, if I unpause, will that go back to how it should be? No? Where's that extra 1 gold per month I'm losing? Where's it coming from? I don't know. I'll just have to let this siege end. Oh, there it is. We're back to 0.2 per month that we're making. Okay, this is my daughter. Yes. Arriving to pay homage. So show her in at once and she'll give me 50 gold. Taking the knee, I wait patiently on my throne for the arrival of Infanta Brunicenda. And Infanta, by the way, is the Spanish version of princess, who is soon announced and ushered before me. And she's a princess because I'm the king and she's my daughter. Okay. 2 tangents out of the way. Back to the command prompts. She kneels in deference as attendants bring forth her gifts of coin and precious objects. The oath is taken, and scribes recorded her pledges to serve Kingdom of Valencia. At last I bid the Duchess arise, confirming my satisfaction and Brunicenda's rights to the lands she rules in my stead. I accept your generous gift. So I gained 75 prestige, 150. No, she gained 75 prestige. I gain 150 prestige plus 50 gold. And our dynasty gains 100 renown. So that's cool. Thanks for that free stuff. I just looted Amaya for 22 gold after breaking the walls. And now I can go down here and interrupt this siege. This is my brother who's in charge. He helps our movement speed. I believe he's also our best commander. I think Alvar is actually slightly better at 25. But he's my son. I don't want him in war. Hamda only has 1 trait, but he has 33 advantage. So he's best in actual battles. And then I am actually better because I have a minus 60% enemy defensive disadvantage. So even though he has a higher overall commander advantage stat, my trait makes their defensive advantage lower. And so I'm actually the best commander our military has still at the old age of 65. Yeah, 65. My birthday's in July and we are currently in March. And so if we fight this battle, we will still win decisively. So there's no need for me to change commanders, but I would like to command my own army. Although he also has this trait. So you know what? I'll leave him to it. Because he's about to gain this perk. Meanwhile, who's this? Sherhilda? Oh no, wait. That's my spy master. Visclavara is trying to kill Agatha, the brooding fiend. You know what? No. I would like to fight this battle. I keep saying this, but this will be my last battle. I've said that's the last 5 battles, but this will be my last battle of my lifetime. So there I go. Oop, I was swaying my spy master. So now she's at plus 100. I can end the sway scheme I have on her. And instead, should I sway My court chaplain. Let me look at my vassals. Who should I sway next? Ooh, this duke does not like me. Are there any factions currently against me? Independence faction. Who's in it? Oh, this guy. This guy. Everyone else is over. This is the lowest, plus 77. This duke is a plus 20, but he's a child. I cannot sway him. And I believe I betrothed him to one of my... Yes. My granddaughter. So he's fine. Everyone else is... Yeah, she's not over 50. But everyone else is. So there's only 250 other than that child. Her, she holds a little town. Just one town. And she is the owner of a camp, a mercenary camp. And then this guy who has an independence faction against me. So I will sway him. And that abandons my previous... Oh, wait. I don't want to abandon and learn the language. So what I should do instead is abandon this one. Because I guess it abandons the newest one. And learn the language is the newest scheme I have. So let's abandon Sway Sorhilda. And now no longer will it abandon something if I start this scheme. And now I'm swaying him. Okay, I don't hold any hooks. Because of my forgiving trait, if I did hold any hooks, I could abandon them and lose stress because of it. So that's a good perk to have if you're forgiving. Meanwhile, my military is about to catch up, and we're much faster than these guys. Why can I not click on the army? No. The current commander is Queen Blanca. And she does not have any speed traits. I guess Porter does improve travel speed, but only by 5%. Meanwhile, my trait improves... Oh, it doesn't improve speed either, but my brother's did. And he was the one we used to catch up. Now that we're close, I can go ahead and start this battle, saying goodbye. There's a deep and endless hole in my heart. Elvira. Okay, so Countess Elvira was my cousin, a member of my house, obviously, and my best friend. So Elvira was a constant companion and confidant, and to have her ripped from my life feels like a mortal wound from which I will never recover. My hand clasps a note she gave me, the last note she will ever give me, I realize bitterly. I try to read it, but all I can do is move it away from my face, that the precious words contained within it are not washed away by my tears. Though there is a crowd of many mourners around me, I've never felt so alone. Alright, hold on a second. I have to do something real quick. But that is unfortunate that my best friend died, because I believe that's gonna give me a big stress hit. Oh, I have to move this up a little so I can read it. I will never forget this day. That makes me melancholic, which is a moderate health penalty. I can experience some level of catharsis, which is only a 17% chance that I lose 13 stress. However, a 26% chance I gain 32, your grief flows freely, or a 32% chance that I gain 97, and that's critical. My grief overwhelms me. And then the 23% chance I fall into depression, and that's when I gain the trait melancholic. Plus 32 stress on top of it. I need to be strong and move forward, which gives me ongoing heartache. For 30 years. I don't have 30 years left to live, so I think I'm going to be okay with this. Especially since even though she was my best friend, me and her have not seen eye to eye. Mostly because she's the Countess of Ibiza. And we did have a few kerfuffles over that island. But I need to be strong and move forward. Meanwhile, this battle here, you can see I have 25 advantage. Oh, they have caballeros too, as do I. But we're fighting in bad terrain, which gives my caballeros a negative modifier. Why do theirs not get it? They're fighting in bad terrain, and they're being countered by my retinue pikemen. But they're also countering my bowmen. Okay. Either way, this battle should be over quickly. There it is. Ooh. Did I just kill the king? I was learning his language. That's unfortunate. That also got me to 100%. Unfortunately, King Favila is not around anymore. It is a shame. I was looking to him for how to pitch my accent while learning Iberian Vulgar. That said, no need to cut my studies short. I just need to find someone else to emulate. Infante Muniu. He's the Infante of what? Navarra? Or King Munio of Navarra? Or Captain Tello, the sleeping captain of the Castilian Harriers. Swords for hire. So they are adventurers, but they're a mercenary group. I have a truce with Navarra, so it should be fine if I learn from the King of Navarra, but the king is 53. He is in good health, though, so that should be fine. However, this guy is his prince. He's 36. Married to the Duchess of Cantabria. Located in Amaya, which is the place I'm conquering. So you know what? He probably won't like me. So I will take this guy. Because I do have a truce with Navarra. And once I take Amaya, I probably will not focus on Navarra anytime soon. I'll focus on Leon. And then if I do that, Navarra will be totally surrounded by me once I take Castile, which I'm about to take this little piece of Castile. And then once I take Leon, Navarra will have no neighbors, just me. They'll be completely surrounded on 3 sides by me and by the ocean to the north. At least for this sliver up here where their capital is. They'll also have this little sliver down here. But I think they might lose that once this king dies. So yeah, let's focus on the king. What is this symbol here? I'm trying to figure out what this symbol means. Why does it keep going to me? Why does the pop-up keep going on my guy? I don't want it to be on my guy. I want it to be on this, I guess. Whatever. I'm not gonna focus on this. I can start a scheme against him. Perhaps the king, his dialect is interesting. And it retains our previous progress, so that's good, regardless of who I choose. So yeah, let's go with the king. Meanwhile, these people I captured, are they important? No, they are not. And so I can ransom them off before the war ends. Otherwise, once the war ends, they will all be returned to whoever they belong to. Oh, I just captured one guy. That's fine. And he's not important, so they don't even want to pay your ransom. I mean, you're not all that good, and you're not even Catholic. You're Mozarabic, so that's probably why she doesn't even want you, because she's Catholic. Are you at least Astra Leonese? No, you're not even her religion or her culture. So you're not her religion, and you're not her culture. Makes sense why she doesn't want you. However, you are the son of a mayor, are you not? Where is Uceda? Oh no, he's not the mayor, she's the mayor. So where is Uceda? That's down here. So they will not become my vassals once I win this war. So if I leave him in prison, maybe they will be willing to pay his ransom. But I think if the war ends, they might not. he might be freed. This guy's the Prince of Leon. Why is he in my prison? Why has he been in my prison for 10 months? Oh, it's because this guy doesn't want to pay the ransom because he's broke. But the prince should pay his own ransom. He's got 70 gold. Oh, this guy? Oh, it's the same guy. He's another... I've got 2 of your princes. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, because Leon was allied with Castillo when I fought Castillo. That's why. And this guy's been here for 5 years. He has no money. Oh, wow. He's gone down to -17. The last time I looked, he was at -12. How does he keep losing money? He's the count of a county. That should be making money for him. You know, I believe this is his daughter as well. Yeah, if you don't get money, I'm not going to ransom these people out to you guys. Meanwhile, this was the battle that just took place. I only lost 1 person. Meanwhile, they had 5 survivors. That's it. The other 771 people died. So it was a slaughter. My knights killed 120 people, and I believe their king should be in here. Yep, the King of Castillo. That's how he died. I killed him. Slain in battle by Diodet de Intensa. Diodet is my best knight, I believe. No, he's my 3rd best knight. You didn't even get killed by my best knight. You got killed by my 3rd best knight. For shame. Who should be ashamed is his bodyguards. And these 2 guys who ended up surviving while their king was killed. So let's end this war, and now that sliver of land is mine. Your wisdom and mercy are legendary. They become very nice when you win. So be it. I gained 50 legitimacy from that, but I believe my legitimacy is capped. And we also gained 3 progress towards the next phase. I don't know if you guys could hear that. You probably could, but I think that was a motorcycle outside my window. Oh, they're still there. It's that time of year now. The weather's starting to warm up. I must say, as a complete aside, people with loud vehicles, I don't get the appeal. You just like bothering everyone else? Because that's really all you're doing. I mean, sure, you can like the sound of the vroom vroom. You know, I like the sound of the vroom vroom when I was a kid too, but even if you don't grow out of it, why are you not at least more considerate of everyone around you who has to listen to that? Just because you like the vroom vroom doesn't mean everyone else likes the vroom vroom. I'm going to take a drink of water before I get into even more trouble. Okay, let's focus on the game. I just ended the war so I can disband my military, and I will go from making 0.2 gold per month to making 4.4 gold per month. And now I have a bunch of messages. I'm not dealing with hostages, especially not with my own daughter. I'll lose land. Why? Oh, I'll lose Amaya. Who currently holds Amaya? Who's my vassal at the moment? Wait, this guy's a Prince of Navarra. Why is he my vassal? I should have taken that land for myself. I'm not dealing with that. Was granted recent. Why am I granting him land? I don't understand why the game just did this. This land should have gone to me. Okay, can I at least demand his conversion? Ooh, he'll accept 100%. And I convert his wife as well. That way, once I kick them out, because I'm going to kick them out, but once I kick them out and send them back, demand his conversion as well. Once I kick him out and send them back, there will be a Bernatic in Navarra to deal with them. Meanwhile, how about her? She's Bernatine. I'm going to click through all the little tiny towns and temples and demand everyone convert who holds the little tiny lands and temples. Oh, this guy's a Catholic bishop, but he's not zealous. But because he's a Catholic bishop, it looks like I cannot demand he convert. Okay, that's fine. Ashari. 81% chance. I like those odds. Oh wait, he's already Bernatic. I do like saying Bernatic. I don't know why. I like saying Bernatic. This guy's also there. She's there. He's there. Yep. Yep. Okay, looks like a lot of the guys out east are already there because this is my land where I've been focusing on converting people this whole time. Yeah, so they don't need no conversion. Who is she? Oh yes, my brother put her there. Or my son put her there. This is my niece. Okay, looks like everyone is converted. Okay, I didn't think it would be this easy, but yeah, everyone's converted. Except for in the new lands that I've conquered. Even in these lands, which are currently still Ashari, the holder's still Bernatic. That's good. And then Molina was conquered by my daughter without my involvement whatsoever. So these are definitely going to... Oh no, they're also converted. Okay. Oh, this one's Catholic. This nun. Because she's a bishop, I don't believe... Oh, I can demand her conversion. Yes, because... because first of all, she's a member of my house. And second of all, I don't believe Catholics allow female bishops. Oh, she's my son? No, wait, whose daughter? She's Bruni Senda's daughter. Okay. So demand her conversion 100%. And then this guy has also converted. Okay, let's keep going north then. I just came from here. Navarra's new. Yeah, so this guy needs to convert. Oh, I'm already considering. Okay, yeah, so I've already been here. The last place is over here. They're currently at war. And then the new place. Did I already ask him? Yes, I did. Yeah, this is where my whole thing started in the first place. Okay, let's unpause and let all those go through. I believe there were 2 that were under 100% and everyone else was at 100. So let's unpause and convert everybody. Blessed be God. Yes, sir. Ooh, this is the Prince of Navarra. He managed to convert. And this was my granddaughter, who was the bishop. Yes. And now, if I look at Amaya, this guy. I still want to strip you of your land, but it's nice that you converted, because once I strip you of your land, you'll go back to Navarra, to your dad. And now I'll have a Bernatic in Navarran lands. But if I look at the duchy, this is part of the Duchy of Cantabria. So I have the Duchy of Vizcaya and the Duchy of Cantabria that I can create. All within... Oh no, wait, they're within 2 different kingdoms. Cantabria is in Castile and Vizcaya is in Navarra. Okay. That's fine. How do I stabilize this though? Let me see. Everything in the east and north is stabilized. Navarra I gave to my son, who's currently fighting against this kid to try and take over this county, which I do not want him to have. But I don't think there's anything I can do against that, because I wanted to eventually create the Duchy of Vizcaya. And then when I played as my granddaughter, this is her brother. So she would definitely side with him over her, not even uncle. Yeah, over her uncle. She'll definitely side with her brother over her uncle, at least I think. Della Storm, hello, welcome. I know very little of this game. I ditched the EU4 after playing it for a few years to try this game out. Oh, okay. I have seen EU4. I think EU4 is a lot more technically involved. Obviously, all these Paradox games are very mechanic-centric, but I believe EU4, from what I've seen, is more focused on the mechanics than Crusader Kings is. You say that, but CK3 is harder. I mean, that's probably why it's harder for you. Maybe you are better at mechanic-focused games. Also, yes, because you don't know the mechanics, that might also be one of the reasons. I find once you get used to the mechanics, it's not too difficult or too well, I shouldn't say that. It's not too difficult. It is complex, but complex doesn't always mean difficult. It just means there are more steps. But yeah, I watched a bunch of Crusader Kings content creators before I decided to start playing this game myself. I'd say I watched over 200 hours of gameplay on this game. And so when I started, I was already fairly familiar with the mechanics. Of course, there are some things where until you play yourself, you just will not be able to get. I'm used to EU4 because I'm in my first 100 of this game, where I didn't think I still even you hand me this game, I may fail within minutes. Yeah, it's if it's your first 100 hours of the game and you've never watched anyone else play this game, so it's literally your first 100 hours being familiarized to the game, I can see why you would not be able to feel like the game is easy, because like I mentioned, I have watched over 200 hours of other people playing this game, and then currently I think I have about 100 hours of gameplay. I haven't watched much. Their titles screw me up. Assholes mess me up. Yeah, it's just one of those things where you have to keep at it. Or since you haven't watched much, I'd recommend watching other people play. And obviously, you're doing that because you're in my chat watching me play. But that is how I learned how to play the game. So if I were to recommend anyone the easiest way to learn how to play this game, it would be by watching others play. Really, you feel like they're less intuitive in this game. I like battles in this game because you just point and then, or not point, you click and then point to where you want them to move. Oh, army composition. Okay, well, I can see that. One of the first things I had to learn about armies is the levies, because levies are just peasants that you drafted into your army, so they're not good against anything. They're just there to make up the numbers. So if you're outnumbered, you're cooked in this game, is because it's probably because your numbers are made up of levies. Like I said, levies are just peasants that you drafted. So picture them as a bunch of commoners with pitchforks rushing at the front lines. That's what they are. Meanwhile, your men-at-arms, that's just another word for professional soldiers. So those are the actual people who are good at fighting. Knights are just the leaders. So if you look at your knights, depending on how good or bad your character is in the martial trait, he'll have more or less knights. So the character I was playing before this one, King Bernat's mother, she had low martial, so I only had 5 knights. And the knights, the only stat that matter for them is their prowess stat. So the higher the prowess, the better they are at being a knight, at fighting. And then there are commander traits that only matter if they're the commander, but really it's prowess. You want people with high prowess to be your knights. And your knights can range anywhere from 3 to as many as I have 13 at the moment. You can have much more than that, depending on how high your martial stat is. And really, they're good in a battle because they don't die easily, and they're really good at fighting. So they kill much more soldiers during a battle. But having so little knights, what is the point of having small regiments when your enemies have 5,000 armies? Okay, so 5,000 is a lot, first of all. But if, for instance, you're fighting someone with 5,000 army in their army, right? And 4,990 of them are levies. And then they have 10 knights. And that's it. That's their entire army. Meanwhile, you have 2,000 army, but you don't have any levies. They're all 2,000 men-at-arms with however many knights. You will probably win that battle because your men-at-arms are, like I said, professional soldiers who know how to use a sword or bows or whatever you have them. These guys are horsemen. And levies are just there to make up numbers. They're just warm bodies to throw at the enemy. And so levies can be taken out even if you are outnumbered by them by a lot. You can still take them out if you have men-at-arms, which, like I said, are just professional soldiers. And the knights, they're just like a really good DPS, basically. They take out a lot of soldiers per battle. But even if you have, if you only have 2 or 3 knights, you won't see much of a difference. Because even if in a big battle, they'll take out, if they win the war, they'll take out, the most I've seen one knight take out is about 60 plus other soldiers that he killed. However, mostly the knights are good for countering other knights. So if your enemy has 10 knights and you have 10 knights, that's what it's good for. So yeah, you gotta try men-at-arms. But when you're broke and you're cooked, yeah. So some things you just can't help. So if you're broke and you don't have money to hire men at arms, and the people around you have way more soldiers than you do, at that point, I recommend just playing tall, right? Trying to make as much money as possible so that you can then use it to spend on your military. Some things just can't be helped. However, men at arms, I haven't mentioned yet. I mentioned levies and I mentioned knights. Men at arms, professional soldiers, there are different types of men at arms regiments, right? And each one counters another one. It's like rock, paper, scissors, but with more options. So if you look at bowmen, they counter skirmishers. And a skirmisher is, it'll tell you right here what a skirmisher is. But usually it's heavy infantry. Or not heavy infantry. Usually it's light infantry. So someone like, I believe pikemen are considered skirmishers. Or is it footmen? No. Yeah, so spearmen, pikemen are a type of spearmen. And spearmen are a type of skirmisher, I believe is how that works. Skirmisher was a bad example because that is one of the more complicated ones. Let's go with an easy one. Caballeros, which are a type of light cavalry. Light cavalry counters archers. So if your enemy has men at arms and you have men at arms, let's say you both have 200 men at arms, but yours are caballero, yours are light cavalry, and there are archers, you will win because your horsemen take out their archers. However, horsemen are countered by spearmen. So if you have if they have 200 spearmen and you have 200 horsemen, they will win because spearmen are the rock and horsemen are the scissors, right? So rock beats scissors. So that's why you like to have, you don't not only need a lot of men at arms, you also want a variety of men at arms. That way, whoever they have, you can counter. Developing is less straightforward. Deving is just mana points and increasing manpower tax. Okay, so that's because you're familiar with the game. I honestly, when I was watching someone play EU4, that seemed the more complicated to me. Increasing mana points and manpower tax, production, trying to keep all of that in mind. EU4 only has 3 soldier types. Yeah, so this game is, I will say that for you, for your case, Crusader Kings has more, their military is more complicated than EU4. So the whole battle military aspect of this game is more complicated than EU4's. However, the rest of the game, I think EU4 is more complicated. And the development is one of those examples. So right now I have this little menu popped up which shows me which holdings I currently have to my name. And it shows how much tax they make per month and how many levies I can raise from them per month. This is where you get your levies from. It's from the towns you hold. Oh, well, I'm happy I can show you something new then. Yeah, it's just this little thing right here, this little scroll. If you click it, it'll pop up this menu up. If you raise armies, it also shows you how many armies you have raised here. And you can decide if you want to follow a character. You can pin them, and they will show up here. So you can find them whenever you want. Oh, let me unpin her now. I don't want her to always be there. So your personal holdings, not vassals. Well, okay, so that is, yes, on top of your personal holdings, you get money from them. But if you look here at your monthly income, you get money from your domain, 10.5 per month. That's these 5 added up together. But you also get money from vassal taxes. And that is actually less complicated than it looks. Because if you look at your land, if I zoom in, the land that has names on it are the lands I hold. But I'm also the king of Valencia. So every piece of land within Valencia is mine. So if I control click it, I can see all the little titles within Valencia. And these are all my vassals. Now vassals get taxed based on their contract with you. And if you look at the contract, there's the tax level. Usually they all start out at normal tax level, normal feudal levels. And here it'll tell you how much taxes they're paying you. So right now this guy is paying me 0.4 gold per month. There are different types of vassals, but that doesn't really affect anything in terms of money. The different vassal types just affect how much they like you. So this guy is a courtly vassal. And if I were to look at a minority landholder vassal, someone who only holds one city, I believe is this lady. So she's a minority landholder. Really, all that does is increase how much they like you or not. So right now her opinion is plus 43 of me. She has minus 20 because of parochialism. Minus 10 from limited crown authority, right? Which is my level of crown authority, which is at level 2. That makes her like me 10 less. However, if I look at a courtly vassal, I mean, I still have the same crown authority, but if I look at a courtly vassal, my crown authority is not even a modifier here. So he does not dislike me for having that level of crown authority. It's best not to develop them and develop them last, I'm guessing, to have your holdings more developed. So I'm not sure what you mean by me being I mean, I am stronger than them, but I think most of the times, yes, you will be stronger than your vassals. I mean, I can't think of a single situation where your vassal is stronger than you. Mostly because if your vassal is stronger than you, then if you look at this factions menu here, they can very easily create a faction against you if they're stronger than you and then become independent by themselves, which is what this guy is currently trying to do. He's not stronger than me though, but he's still trying to create an independence faction. Now, the reason it's called an independence faction is because other people can join this faction and increase their military power past this line and then demand to be independent. And multiple people coming together will be stronger than me because they'll have multiple militaries. So they'll basically form an alliance. There's also other types of factions as well. At that point, once they cross this line, they can press their demands. And then once they press their demands, I can either accept their demands and then just let them go, which saves me from having to fight, but it loses me their land because now they're independent. Or I can decide, no, your land is mine. What the hell are you talking about? At which point a war starts, a rebellion, and I have to put it down the same way I would any other war. However, the best way to make sure your faction, people don't join the faction, is to make them like you. So you see here a list of vassals who cannot join a faction. And there's different reasons for that. First off, this guy's my brother and my ally. So you cannot start a faction against your ally. I don't recommend allying your vassals, but this guy is just an example. Is my vassal, he's also my ally, so he cannot join a faction against me. This guy also is my ally. However, he's my ally because he's my son. This guy, he was in prison. And I let him out of prison, and as a condition of being let out of prison, he cannot join any faction until April of the year 1000. This kid is underage, so underage nobles cannot join a faction. Also, he's my ally because I betrothed him to marry my granddaughter. So that's another way you can form an alliance. And you can either be family and be allies, or you can marry someone else to your family member, and then that'll create an alliance, and allies cannot join your faction. This one's a court chaplain, so they cannot join a claimant faction, and this one's underage, so they cannot join factions. However, there are a bunch of vassals I have who can join factions. The reason they don't join factions is because they like me. So the best way to prevent vassals from rising up is to have them high opinions of you. Right now this guy's only a plus 30, but if I go to me, and then I go to my vassal list, I have 14 vassals, and you can see everyone's opinion of me is plus 100. There are a few who are lower than that, but they're all over plus 50, except for this guy who's a kid. But he's already betrothed to a family member of mine, so I don't care about that. But you can see they all have high opinions of me. None of them are in the negative. And that's the best way to prevent vassals from rising up. In terms of my strong neighbors, the good thing about the Muslims is that this is a DLC called the Iberian Struggle that I'm currently playing as, which is a version of the Reconquista. So all the Catholics within Iberia are fighting off all the Muslims within Iberia. So I'm not alone in that fight. Whenever a Muslim decides to, if a Muslim ever decided to declare war on me when I was still Catholic, the other Catholics would join in. In the same way, if I, as a Catholic, were to declare war on the Muslims, the other Muslims would join in because they're all allies. But that's just an effect from this DLC. And even if it was, I'm still no longer Catholic. I created my own religion, Bernatism, and so that doesn't really affect me anymore. Okay, yeah, if you're using your friend and he has all the DLCs, then you'll probably come across this DLC whenever you play a character that's in the Iberian Peninsula. What's this sect? I named it after myself as the character. So his name is Bernat, so I just called it Bernatism when I created my own religion. That was expensive though. You need a lot of piety to create your own religion. I don't think the Mozarabics actually adhere to the Pope. Oh yeah, I guess they do. Huh. But it's another Christian faith. The different faiths have different, like Orthodox here, they're still Christian, although the Orthodox do not listen to the Pope. They listen to the ecumenical patriarch. Meanwhile, I do not have a head of faith. Because I need a holy site in order to have a head of faith. My religion that I created currently does not hold any holy sites. However, because it is a Christian religion, the only holy sites I can hold are the Christian holy sites. So I need either the Vatican, Jerusalem, Cologne, Canterbury, or Santiago. Currently, Santiago is the closest, so I'm working on slowly crawling my way to the west so that I can get Santiago. And once I have it, I can then create the head of faith title. But our head of faith is not the Pope. So that is my goal at the moment, which is why I attacked this sliver of Castile here and took it. My next goal will be to attack Leon, and then once I take Leon, I will attack Galicia for this county here. I believe that's one county, right? Coruna. This is the Duchy of Galicia. And, oh no, this is held by the King of Galicia. Okay. Wait, is this their capital? Is Santiago the cap? It is. It's the capital of Galicia. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take their capital in order to take that holy site for myself. How many soldiers does Galicia have? 2,000. Okay, that's not too bad. And did I just see that there's a Leon inside? There's a Duchy of Leon inside of the Kingdom of Galicia. But then there's a Kingdom of Leon up here. This is the same thing that happened with Navarra, where inside of my kingdom there's a Duchy of Navarra, which holds the Kingdom of Navarra, which is the de jure capital of the Kingdom of Navarra. But they don't have it anymore. I have it. So their new capital is over here in Vizcaya. And so what am I doing at the moment? I believe I'm trying to stabilize after fighting a war. Yes, because I will lose this land. Because this is the Prince of Navarra, who for some reason became my vassal. So how do I fix this? I do not want any of my children to be my co-monarch, because my granddaughter will be the new queen after I die. And I don't want her to have to deal with an uncle who had way too much power. Okay, these are alliances. I don't really need to negotiate an alliance with a member of my house, because when I'm at war, I, as the head of my house, can always just call them to war as the head of the house. My house being March. So every single person in this family tree, if they have power, I can call them to war. Do I want to create the Duchy of Vizcaya? Oh, I don't even have the gold for it. Okay, that's fine. How do I stabilize this land, though? I do not want to lose this Cantabria here. So should I create the Duchy of Cantabria? I can revoke his title. But I have to wait a year. Okay, that's fine. I can wait a year. Can I wait a year? My health is fine, so yeah, I think I can wait a year. Okay. So that's gonna take a year for me to stabilize this area here. I would like it if my son doesn't take my grandson's land from him, but I don't think there's anything I can do about that. I'll just wait. Do you not have any allies? Do you have allies? Oh, he's allied to me. That's unfortunate. As his king, I think I can declare... Yeah. Oh no, this is as the head of his house, I can declare an end to all wars against other members of my dynasty. And because this is my grandson, that would end that war. But I don't want to do that quite yet. I want to keep that in the holster. I'm gonna take a quick sip of water. I had a couple of drops leak. Okay, so my next step is not another war. What does popular opinion look like? Popular opinion in Valencia is at plus 91, minus 3 from offensive wars. So let's wait until that goes back down to 0. Are there any buildings I can build in my territory? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, so I think my next goal is to wait a year before I can strip this guy of this land. So let's let some time go by. Oh, what is this? Oh, this guy did not want to convert. Who is this guy? This is my son's spy master. Now I can arrest him. But he also holds this little city here. What is the religion of this area? They're my religion. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense that he is a Shari. So if I were to imprison him, he leaves and is no longer the mayor of that town. Which is too bad, really. 26 is a really high learning stat. His house only has one member, him. And if he leaves, I'll gain stress because I'm forgiving. And the new person that takes over probably will be Bernatic, but I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to gain more stress. In fact, I want to lose stress. So let's look at which activity. Should I? Everyone loses 10 opinion of me. I can eat my Viking cheese. The older it gets, the more stress I lose. So I think I want to leave that alone for now. I think I want to talk to Confidant, but let's look at the activities I can do. I wonder if he started to take over the country. Well, not even a vassal. There's another DLC that allowed me to start as an adventurer, which was someone without any land. Just my own camp, and then I could move my camp from city to city. Or I could keep it in one city and then move around collecting contracts and doing whatever the contract wanted me to do. And that's when I originally started this game. If I look at my family tree, let's keep going up. This guy was the first character I played as. He was an adventurer. As an adventurer, I saved up money and I bought some land. But because I was buying land from someone, the person I bought land from ended up becoming my liege. So I was his vassal. And that person was the Duke of Barcelona at the time. So I became a vassal of the Duke of Barcelona. I believe the first piece of land I bought was Urgell. So I owned the county of Urgell, making me a baron. No, was it a baron? It was a count. I was a count of Urgell. Or was it Leda? I don't remember. It was one of these two. And then my liege, I was a vassal of the Duke of Barcelona, who held the whole duchy. And that's how I started out. And then slowly but surely I worked my way up until the Aghlabid Empire down here ended up conquering all of this land. And then under them, I started conquering all of my fellow vassals. Because that's the good thing about being a vassal. You can attack your fellow vassals with no one else getting involved. Just you versus them. And your king doesn't really care. At least not if he has low crown authority. And so I spread my land that way. And then I joined an independence faction against the Aghlabid Empire. No, it wasn't an independence faction. It was a dissolution faction. And so once the dissolution faction had enough military power, we pressed our demands. And the dissolution faction, what it does is it makes my king's title disappear. So my liege at the time was the Emperor of the Aghlabid Empire. Our dissolution faction had so much military power that when we pressed our demands, the Emperor did not even fight it. He was just like, fine, you win. I'll dissolve my title. And so he stopped being the Emperor of the Aghlabid Empire. However, he was still the king or the Sultan, because these are Muslim titles. So he was still the Sultan of the Aghlabid Sultanate. However, he lost some of the land that was part of the Aghlabid Empire, and my land was some of it. So you can start. You usually, if you can choose which character to start out. So you can start as low as an adventurer with no land, no money, nothing, and you can start as high as, if you wanted to, you can start the game playing as the Emperor of the Byzantine Empire. So you asked how to convert land to my religion and culture. EU4 is simple, but I think this game is simple as well. So if you look at the religion at the moment, right? This is my religion. If I wanted to convert religion, I would go to my council, and then my court chaplain has an option where I can convert the faith in any individual county. And then all I have to do is select the county I want her to convert faith in, and then that's it. I just wait, and she'll convert the faith in that county. Culture is the same way. My steward has this option here where I can promote culture, and I can select any single county I want to promote culture in. This yellow is my current culture, and then blue, yellow, gold, and greenish, these are all the other counties within my kingdom that do not follow my culture. So I can select any one of them and have them convert culture there. So this deep blue is French culture. This light blue is Occitan culture. This yellow, I believe, is Basque. Yeah, Basque culture. This bright yellow is Castilian culture, which I just got this piece of land from Castile, so that makes sense. And then this green is Andalusian, which is the Muslims that were here before the Reconquista. So I can just select, let's select Castellan for instance, and now it'll take him 7 years to convert culture in that one county to my culture. And different lands have different times. So you see Murcia will take him 6 years. Currently I do not want him to do that though, because I want him to focus on collecting taxes. And so that improves the gold I make per month. Right now I'm making 3.2. If he focuses on collecting taxes, I make 4.4. So that's a big jump. So I want him to focus on collecting taxes. Playing in Iberia and doing Reconquista sounds fun and challenging. Yes. So one of the many challenges of playing during the Iberian struggle is that the struggle has phases. Currently, we are in the conciliation phase. There's also a hostility phase. Which is all-out war. It becomes much easier and much less expensive to declare war on everyone else in Iberia. Conciliation is, I like to call it, all-out peace. So it becomes much more difficult and much more expensive to declare war on other people in Iberia. And then the next phase is the compromise phase. So I bring this up because the conciliation phase, one of its many effects is that I cannot convert culture within Iberia, which is why this option is grayed out. So I cannot convert, or not culture, faith. I cannot convert faith within Iberia. So you can see within my lands, this blue line represents my border. There are Catholic population and there are Ashari population. I cannot convert either of them because we're currently in the compromise or in the conciliation phase. If I were playing anywhere else in the world, there would be no phases, and I could just convert faith. I could convert faith whenever I wanted to. Outside of the conciliation phase, I think I can convert faith whenever I want to. I was doing it before. This is how I got my new faith to spread so far. However, during the conciliation phase, I cannot convert faith. But yeah, all I have to do is the same as culture. I just click on the county I want them to convert, and then they'll tell me how many years it'll take, and it's that simple. However, I found a cool little trick to work around that, which is one of the fun little things I find playing this game. So I cannot convert culture, but if I control click my land, these are all the titles underneath me. So I can always go to the Duke of Zaragoza, my daughter, and I can just have her as her liege. I can give her a vassal directive. I can tell her what to do. And I can tell her to focus on converting faith in your land. And once I give that directive, she will focus on that. Now, obviously, you need one of these long list of requirements before you can do that. But the list is so long that it's very easy to fulfill one of these requirements. So once you have that, you can give her a directive and she'll do whatever you want her to do, whether it be converting faith, promoting culture, or constructing buildings. You can tell her what to focus on and she'll do it within her land. Which is what I am currently doing for all of these lands that I cannot convert because they're still in Iberia. I have my vassals focusing on converting their faith at the moment. Don't you have issues when you conquer swaths of Islamic Arab land? Yes, it is. That's part of why the DLC exists. It is more complicated than with other European Christians. But that's part of the fun of this DLC, right? Is that you have to focus on pushing the Arab Muslims out of Iberia. And you can see, if we look at the culture, Andalusian culture, you can see how far north it spread. And this was before the game started, or when the game started. This was how far the Muslim culture also was. But now you can see it's been pushed south. Not all the way out, but it's being pushed slowly south. And that is part of the goal. Once you push them completely out, you can select this right here, view the struggle endings. And I can declare how to end the struggle. And that will end the DLC. It won't end the game, but it will end the DLC. And I can choose here, Valencian Dominance, which I believe is me conquering the entire Iberian Peninsula. And then I can end it there. Or I could choose Status Quo, which I believe is. I don't actually know how status quo is, but detente is becoming peaceful allies with everyone in Iberia, and that will end the struggle. But like I said, when we're not in the conciliation phase, it becomes the same as with every other European Christian. I just have to have my consulars focus on converting people, and that should do it. It's just that currently we're in a phase where that's not possible. And again, that only exists because of the DLC. I tried adventure, it's fun. Just need to learn to scale higher before attacking. Yeah. So I had the same problem because this was the first time I played the game. I mentioned that I watched other people play it, but this was the first time I played the game. And a lot of when I was an adventurer, other than going to other contracts and taking place in tournaments, which was fun. I do like taking place in a tournament. But that's also, I think, a DLC is the Grand Tournament DLC, where you can take place in grand tournaments. But aside from doing tournaments and doing contracts, the rest of it is just waiting to build up your military and your money until you're strong enough to attack someone for their land. And I did find that I had trouble with my patience, and so I attacked a couple of times where I lost because I was not ready. So I think if I actually look at my family tree, if I look at this character and his memories, go all the way down, you can see everything he did. I became an adventurer, fell in love, married, had children, won a tournament. I won a wrestling contest. Another child. I became friends. I murdered. He died. My rival died under mysterious circumstances. But the very memory before that is I murdered him. So that's funny. Okay, so... Okay, here it is. I began the invasion of the grand city of Minorca, held by Emperor Mikhail of Francia. This was back when the Aghlabid Empire ruled France. And so that ended in defeat. My invasion ended in defeat. And then again, I pressed my claim on the Republic of Majorca, held by this guy. And it ended in victory. And I think... Oh, here it is. I purchased the County of Lleida from Count Pere of Barcelona. That's how I finally was able to get land, because I lost a lot trying to attack people and gain land that way. I ended up having to just buy it, because my military was devastated by losing those two wars, but I still had enough gold, so I at least was able to buy some land. That is one of the options when you're an adventurer. If you go to the vassals nearby and you control, or not control, you right click them, there should be an option somewhere in here to purchase land. And that's how I was able to get my first bit of land, which was Lleida, right here. And then from that, I built up to the Kingdom of Valencia you see today, which is one of the biggest kingdoms. Well, let me put it this way. It's the biggest kingdom in Europe. I believe Bohemia might be slightly bigger. But outside of the Byzantine Empire, I believe Valencia is the biggest kingdom in Europe. It is more steps than EU4 when you list it out, but it is straightforward. That is a great way to put it. More steps, but it's more straightforward than EU4. Which is why when you were saying earlier that you were having more problems here than in EU4, I thought to myself, that's what I was thinking. You just put it in a much better way than I could. I just noticed the the sea creatures on the map. It's just like what they used to do back in old-timey maps, where they would just randomly draw a random creature on the waters. But when you land, you lose all the income and army stuff you develop. There's a chance you might. Yes, I think I did downscale when I bought my piece of land because I still kept the gold. You should still keep your income, but your military changes because now you get the levies from the land you hold and all the other stuff. Now you get all of this stuff once you stop being an adventurer. I mean, I think this menu still exists when you're an adventurer, but you don't get any levies as an adventurer. Everyone in your camp is someone you pay for, a professional soldier or a knight. EU4, you look at more charts and stats than this game. Yes, I think that is it. This game, you're not looking so much at stats and charts. And that's probably why I found EU4 to be more complicated. Is because it almost feels like you're an accountant, right? You're just looking through charts and graphs and trying to figure out which numbers work better where. And this game, I mean, it is sort of similar, but there's a bit more visuals to it. But at the end of the game, they're both games looking at maps. And I love looking at maps, so I love Crusader Kings 3. That's why I'm playing it. EU4, I also love watching other people play EU4. I'm not playing it personally, but that's because I just started streaming. And Crusader Kings I like more than EU4, so I decided to start with Crusader Kings. But EU4 is made by the same people, and the gameplay is similar with all the differences that we've been mentioning. So stress, which I believe I saw someone say that Crusader Kings is more character focused and EU4 is more nation focused. So this game has a lot of stuff that you have to manage character wise, and one of them is stress. So currently I'm at 181 stress. I would like to lower that stress levels, which is what we were looking at. And so I believe I could talk to a confidant, but I want to. There's nothing going on in my court. Did I gain any? No, not here. Did I gain any artifacts? I did gain artifacts. Okay, so what about up here? Oh, no artifact. Okay. So this gives me natural dread +6. I don't like that. This gives me renown, and this gives me prestige per dread. Why are my house banners and dynasty banners all about dread? I do not like dread. So if I replace it with this gives me renown and prestige. Plus, the dynasty banner does not give me any court grandeur, but the high does. Ooh, I took this from someone. The House of Cantabria, their banner. And then I took this from someone. But no, I want the hide. The hide looks good. Does EU5 already have a release date? It's nation building. CK3 is dynasty building. The roleplay of CK3 is making me more interested in making this my main Paradox game. The game after 5 seems more fleshed out after 5 years, and China will be. Yes, so there is a China DLC coming soon. So that's exciting. But I could not agree more with anything you said there in that comment. U4 is very nation building, and CK3 is very dynasty building, though. U5 isn't even officially called U5, it's called Project Caesar. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult if you're trying to keep it a secret, but you're trying to explain the features. if you're the same company and you're explaining all the same features as your previous game, then it becomes sort of obvious that this is just a sequel. Or in this case, an installment, because we're on the 5th one now. I don't think you can call that a sequel anymore. So yeah, let's replace this with the hide. And now the hide is there instead of my Dynasty banner. And I don't think I have any artifacts for any other spot. No. Okay. Ooh, I don't want that. So my court is all set. Now let's see, how are we going to lose stress? I cannot do any of those. Pilgrimage. I've been on plenty of those already. Hunt. Funeral? My best friend did just die. And my son died, yes. So let's hold a funeral for my son. He died a while ago. Can I still do... Ooh, that's a lot of money. Do I have the money for it? I mean, every other funeral I've held before has been for the previous liege that just died. My son, however, was the co-king, and he died before he got the chance to be king. So I guess I will hold a funeral for him. It would make sense character-wise. And I am trying to roleplay this as much as possible, making decisions the character would make. So yeah, let's plan this funeral. Every other funeral has been held in Sitges because we used to be in Barcelona. That used to be our capital. But now that we've moved our capital down to Valencia, we have a temple nearby, do we not? Montanejos? Oh, we can hold it right in Valencia. Why can't we hold it right in Valencia? Can I choose Montanejos? Oh, I can. Okay. And we have a caravan master, so I mean everything would be safe either way, even without the caravan master. So I don't need any of these options. And I don't need to customize the route because it's fairly straightforward. Mourn, I think. Demonstrating piety. I would like to lose stress, but it doesn't look like any of these options focus on that. So let's see if I can select my... Yes, I can. Or my best friend. Ooh, my grandson. Oh, he died? Oh, that's unfortunate. He was only 2 years old. He was sickly. That is so unfortunate. Gumbert was a friend of mine. He was my personal physician as well. But Elvira was my best... Elvira? She was my best friend. Either way, neither of them compare with my son. So he shall be buried in Montanejos. But let's not focus on all that. Let's be more humble. It is minor stress loss. This one is just stress loss. But I don't have the gold for this, so it's going to have to be a humble ceremony. He wasn't the king anyway, so yeah, we'll keep it at humble. Start the funeral, and then I will go on my merry way. And there's my little man walking to Montanejos. Montanejos is to be Jofre's final resting place, and I'm left alone to gather my thoughts and prepare for the arrival of the honored mourners. I'll never forget him. That's 25 prestige for me. Thierry gained compassionate because of my wet nurse. So that's the good thing about having a wet nurse position filled, is that the children in your court gain better traits. Speaking of which, the funeral won't begin for 6 more months. So let me look at... Ooh, I already have 2 wards. Let me look at the children in my court, see if anyone needs educating. And no, they do not. I like to wait until they're 3 years old because that's when they develop a personality. And the personality will tell you what the kid will be best at for you to educate them. Wild dope means she is born out of wedlock. Her parents are. Wait, this woman is married, isn't she? Oh, that's why that guy has that look on his face because you cheated on him. Yeah, that's not his daughter. I would have that look on my face too, sir. I understand. So this little girl, her father is this guy. This guy's also married. Wait, but he's a court chaplain of Toulouse, and I don't think my clergy are allowed to marry. Where is it? Clerical marriage is disallowed. Yeah, so if you're a priest, but then I do have lay clergy. Is that what? No, that has nothing to do with it. Yeah, so if you're a priest, you shouldn't be married. And not only are you married, you're having children with other people's wives. And this one is frail. That's a congenital thing, which I do not want in my court because then it gets passed down. Yeah, her mother was beautiful. So how did you get frail? I don't know how that happened, but I guess when she gets older, I'll marry her away. I want her out of my court because I don't want that trait being passed down within my court. But yeah, it looks like all my children who should be educated are being educated. So now I guess I'll just wait 6 months until the funeral begins. The beating. What in the world has happened to my grandson, Juan Giraud? He is all bruised and beaten, and he refuses to name who did this to him. Was it an older child, or did he pester a noble to the point of fury? Now he has all but stopped talking, and constantly hides away when there's people nearby, poor boy. So this is one of the events that pops up because I am his educator, right? Yes. And so I can determine his personality. Right now he develops shy because of this event. I could leave him as a shy person, and I would grow closer to forming a friendship with him because of it. Is he okay shy? He's cynical and he's sadistic, but he's also shy. I don't like shy as a trait, but what are the other options? He can be paranoid or he can be craven, which is cowardly. Craven is slightly worse than shy. Paranoid, I believe, is much worse than shy. He'll probably die of stress if he's paranoid. So yeah, he's going to have to end up being shy. Diplomacy and learning. He's currently focusing on intrigue. How did that happen? Oh yes, this is the reason why I brought him to my court in the first place, because I wanted to change this to learning. It's probably too late. Yeah, it's too late. But if you're going to be focusing on intrigue, shy is bad for intrigue. No, well, it's not good for intrigue. Craven is very good for intrigue. And it's only slightly worse. But that would gain me stress, and I'm trying to lose stress. So you don't have to talk to anyone if you don't want to, boy. You can stay shy. Yes, frail is permanent, like a congenital trait, because it is a congenital trait. Let me go back to that little girl. Yeah, so if you look here, it says it's a congenital trait. So frail is the upgraded version of delicate. And I don't know if it's third It's if it's the third level or the second level. I know the first level is delicate. That's actually a good question. Let me see if I can. Um, what is it? Control C, Control X, Control V, Control F. It's not Control F. Control Z. Maybe it's just Z, X, Z. No, that just lowers the speed. C. Yes, it was C. Okay, so if I were to search delicate -2 prowess, frail is -4 prowess, so then what would be the final version of that? Frail. And wow, she's the only frail person in the entire world. That's crazy. So then I probably will not find the third level. So let's just give up on that. But it's the second level. And it is congenital. So that means she'll have it her whole life. And her children might have it as well. So let me wait until this funeral begins. 5 more months. I'll sip of some water while we wait. Oh, I'm on 3 speed. That's why it's going so slow. Hold on. Let me move this to 5. Yep. Hold on a second. Some stuff just happened. This guy, okay, so what happened was whoever my golden hammer accolade holder was just died. And this guy was his successor, so he became the new accolade holder. And I also gained a new perk for learning lifestyle. So wash my hands or carefree. I mean, I've been dealing with stress a lot. I've been having trouble with stress, so we will go with the carefree perk. Let's unlock that. And then my next perk will be mental resilience. I probably will not get the whole of body trait. I'm too old. I think I'll die before I get there. But every perk is more health. And every little bit of health helps when you're 66 years old. Yeah, I'm feeling fine. That's good. When I start feeling poor is when I'm probably going to be close to death. Okay, and then these things happened. Okay, in Denia, I was upgrading this. So now, I don't have the gold to upgrade it. But when I do, I could. So that's that. And then this was me constructing a building, which increased the progress towards the next phase. So yeah, Denia is my 3rd biggest moneymaker out of my current holdings. Now after building that, Rakenna doesn't make much gold. Why? 0.97 tax. It has bad stewardship. Why? Wait, is that my stewardship level that's affecting that? Oh yeah, it is my stewardship level. Huh. -2%? Yeah. I have bad stewardship. Okay. But why is Rakenna making so few gold? Is it... I think it's because the things we built... No, the Sick House makes 0.4 gold per month. Oh, it's because we don't have a 3rd building, I guess? Yeah, because Denia has 3. Rakenna only has 2. And I don't think there's anything I can do about that. But it's within the county of Valencia. And so that's why I still hold it. Because all of this is the county of Valencia. which is the capital of the Duchy of Valencia, which is the capital of the Kingdom of Valencia. So that's why I hold it. Okay, let's get back to our funeral, which seems like it's never going to start. We have 3 months left. 1 month left. Oh, my daughter learned Highlight German. Oh yeah, she's already a Duchess, so she's out on her own. She learned it from my caravan master. We have 2 weeks left until my funeral begins, or my son's funeral begins. So we'll lower this back to 3 speed. We have some unread messages. We can clear that out. Ooh, prisoners can be ransomed. And I can modify contracts. But these are all my children. I don't want, and grandchildren. I don't want to modify their contracts. But what you could do is, if you have a hook on someone, you can use it and raise your vassal's taxes. So right now you see it's just a little sliver here. I can raise it to high, and now it's a much bigger sliver. But if I did not have the hook, I wouldn't be able to modify the contract without it being considered an act of tyranny, which will make every single one of my vassals lose 20 opinion of me. So you can still do it, but people would just not like you for it. But these are my family members, so I don't want to do that. Meanwhile, wait, are these? He finally gained some gold. This guy. How long has she been in prison? She's 6 years old. I think she's been in prison her whole life. But she's not technically in prison. I think she's in house arrest. Yeah, she's in house arrest. 6 years. Yeah, so I got her when she was an infant. And that's his daughter, his first child. And he was broke, so he could not pay the ransom. And then this guy is, I believe, his brother-in-law. Oh, no, just his brother. His youngest brother. But unfortunately, this count has been broke ever since I captured them 6 years ago, and he couldn't afford the ransom. But now he can. This guy was 13 when I captured him. Now he's 19. So he spent his entire formative teenage years in prison, in house arrest. So let's ransom him out first. And then I will ransom out the little girl. Let's unpause. Okay, he's free. And now I can ransom the little girl. He only has 25 gold, so we will ransom her out. And unpause, and wow, she's still in there. Okay. First, this girl came of age. And she got Fortune Builder, 3-star stewardship education trait. So she is a really good steward. But she doesn't have any traits. So let's marry her. And what I like to do with people in my court who do not have traits, particularly with women, is to find someone fertile who has inheritable traits. This is what I do with everyone in my court who doesn't have traits. That way their children can at least have a chance of gaining a trait. But now I would like to sort by prowess and find who the best knights are. So this guy's prowess is 32, which is excellent, really excellent. He'd be my best knight right now if he entered my court. Unfortunately, he's 60. And his health is poor, so he's probably about to die. However, second is this 27-year-old, which is perfect because he's a robust giant, both of which help prowess, which is probably why his prowess is at 30. And he's even got the confident knight trait. Okay, and he's got the strong trait as well. Now, giant and robust are congenital, so their children have a chance of getting it. Strong is not congenital, but, you know, that's fine. He's only 27, and his prowess is 30, so he'll be my knight for a while. This is perfect. Delta Storm, thank you for the follow. I missed that when you did it. And so let's arrange this marriage. Make it matrilineal so that he can come to us. I don't want her going to him. And it worked out perfectly that He's only 27, so they're close in age at least. So his health is good, but one of the negative things about being a giant, it gives you a lot of prowess, but it's also a minor health penalty, so that's unfortunate. But regardless, our children might inherit these two traits. Oh, and I gained some piety too, for arranging this marriage. That's good. So we will send this proposal, and she's 16, so they should get married instantly. Let me unpause. Oh, she finally left my prison. And then unpause again. And excellent, the marriage went through. And now, let me just see if I can ransom anyone else out. Ooh, he only has 1 gold, and I have 2 of his sons. And they each cost 50. Oh, this one costs 200, so you need 250 gold to get both of your sons. I'm going to do that before I declare war on Leon. I'll wait for him to get 250 gold, ransom both of his sons out, and then I will attack them. So what about Lope here? Muñez. This guy... Oh, he has the money. He just doesn't think you're important. Are you? Oh, your stats are not that good. I mean, you're a hunter, so you'd be a good master of the hunt, maybe? But your prowess is average, so probably not. And you're lustful, impatient, and greedy. That's probably why he doesn't want you in his court, so he's not willing to pay the ransom. Gonzalo here. Oh, he's this guy too. Who is he? Oh, he's nobody. Yeah, so this guy thinks you're unimportant. Even though he doesn't have the gold, he still thinks you're not important. Although stat-wise, I like your stats. Oh, but you're zealous. And zealous people cannot be converted from their faith. Or maybe they can, I just don't know how to do it. And so I don't want a Catholic in my court, even though your stats are really good. So you just stay in prison. I will not recruit you. Meanwhile, this guy... Oh, I do not want to move you to the dungeon. Oh, it's the same guy, and he doesn't think you're important either. Yeah, you've got bad stats. What is this? Oh, you're maimed too. Florence. Oh, no, wait. I want to ransom. Same guy. And he thinks you're unimportant. That is a pretty good stewardship trait. It's not great, though. But it is good. And then this guy. Is it not? It's still not the same guy, right? Okay, this is a different one. This is the Queen of Castile. She definitely has the gold, but she doesn't think you're important. So I have a lot of unimportant people in my prison. Except for the 2 princes. So they'll probably be in there for a while. Meanwhile, the marriage just went through. So now if I look at my knights... Oh, this happened too. I forgot. So my accolade holder passed away, which means Deodat became the new accolade holder. Oh yeah, and there's the new knight. 30 prowess, but he's not currently a knight. I have to look at why in a second. So yeah, Deodat is the new Golden Hammer accolade holder. It lost glory, but I think it's still at rank 4. Yeah. I have 1,044 glory, even though I lost 400. And then Hoonfred became the new successor. I don't like that. He's twice Deodat's age almost. Let's find someone young to be the successor. He's 30. He's 51. 37, 62. Okay. Probably this guy. He's 30 with 17 prowess. How about this guy? He's 56 with 16 prowess. Yeah. So we will make Floriano the successor to the Golden Hammer accolade. And why do I have Huntsmaster? What does that do? You and your primary heir may gain the hunter trait every few years, and reduced hunt peril. I already have the hunter trait, but that's good, I guess. Is it because Deodad is a hunter? So that's the Golden Hammer accolade. Meanwhile, the first of the column accolade is all good. This guy's 30 with 18 prowess, and we don't have any other successors. Okay, so now we can focus on our knights. Gomez over here just joined. Can I demand he convert? 100%. That's perfect. It says she will also convert because she's his wife, but I think she's already of my religion. So that's, I guess, a little bug that the game has. So we'll demand his conversion. And then we have 13 knights available to us. These two are accolade holders, so they're going to be knights no matter what. And then if we include Gomez, let's force him and then allow. And now he's a knight. So that's 2, 4. These are my sons, and I don't want them involved, so I'm forbidding them. Which means Ferend would be 5. Halfre would be 6, 7. Floriano's 8. Kasim is 9. 10, 11. 12. And then Count Juan here, my brother, would be 13. He's getting older, so that's affecting his prowess. Old age gives him -2 to prowess. And the older he gets, the bigger that minus number will be. So pretty soon, even though he was my best commander because he has the most commander traits, he has Faithful Blade, Quick Thinker, and Tactician. Plus he was a 5-star Brilliant Strategist. But, unfortunately, my third brother here, pretty soon I'll have to start giving someone else the knighthood, because he's 13th and we have 2 other people who have 15 prowess, same as him. Oh, but they're both even older than him, so maybe Hamda, same age. This guy is younger, but he has 11 prowess, so you know what, Count Juan might be a knight still for a while longer. So yeah, why do I have a strong hook on this guy? Oh, it's a loyalty hook. If I abandon that hook, that will lose me a bunch of stress. So let me pin this guy. And pardon the pun, but let's put a pin on that. And we will go back to it after the funeral is over. I just wanted to handle Gomez over here because he just got married in, because that lady just became an adult while I was waiting for the funeral. But now all of that is taken care of, and we can go back to the funeral, which will end in 4 months. It's already begun, and it will end in 4 more months. Okay, so he agreed to convert. A time to mourn. The shadows of mourners no longer loom over me, and I am at last given a moment alone. What quiet comfort I could take in such a moment, without the rattling and prattling of other guests in my ears, just me and my thoughts of Infante Joffre of Teruel. Infante is prince, and Teruel is the land I gave him. It feels good. I lose 26 stress. Oh, I lost 13 more stress. Because Emir Yaish lauds my efforts. And he's my friend who is not in my court at the moment. He is the Emir of the Cordoba Emirate. Yep. And is he my friend? Yes, he is. Oh, I'm paused. I was wondering why time wasn't going on. Learn language success. After lots of hard work, I finally learned the Iberian Vulgar language. Okay, so we've seen this event pop up before. It pops up every single time you learn a language. And of course, Esther Leonese peasants now respect me a great deal more. So I feel accomplished. Or I could send a letter in Iberian Voger to King Munio. 67% chance I impress him with my knowledge. 32% chance it becomes across as dishonest mockery. I mean, that's a little extra. Does he hate me? He does not hate me. I think I am not the funeral. Let me lower the funeral for now. I don't think I will be attacking Navarre anytime soon. I do have a truce with them, but even after it ends, I don't think I need their land. I'm going for Leon and then Galicia to get Santiago, the holy site. And so it would be good if he likes me more. 67% chance. It's a diplomacy challenge. So if I go to my consul and switch my wife from assisting ruler to court politics, that'll give me +7 to diplomacy. So if I try it again, it'll go from 67 to 85% chance of success. Send the letter, and I impress him with my knowledge. So now she can go back to assisting ruler. I learned the language and ended my language scheme. Ooh, the game was on pause. I didn't even notice that. Let's close the console. The offering of libations. I and the other mourners take a reprieve from our grief to enjoy a great bounty of food. Laura, usually the lifeblood of any feast, now sits across from me, misty-eyed, with an untouched goblet at her side. How can we make ourselves fat and merry in times like these? Are we to satisfy our hedonistic desires while Joffre has none? Join me, empty our goblets in libation. So we've seen this before. She wants to pour one out for the homie, which is fine. I can join in and gain 20 legitimacy, but I think it's maxed out. Yeah, I'm at 1700 out of 1700, so I am maxed out. A round of drinks for all, so I pay for it. But every guest gains 10 opinion of me. I don't care about either of those. I remember him in my own way. Yeah, I'm forgiving, so I don't like that. So character-wise, this would not make sense for me. So the only option here that I'm really given is whether I want to spend 45 gold to make everyone at the funeral like me plus 10 more. And this is the guest list. I see a lot of green on my opinion there. Yeah. Everyone's over 40. I haven't seen a single person under 40, except for that kid Duke that I betrothed my granddaughter to. And even then, I think I only saw 2 in the 40s. Everyone else was over 50. So I don't really care if they like me more. So I'll just choose this, which does nothing really because I'm already maxed out on legitimacy. But it's the lesser of... it's the only option that does nothing negative to me. Meanwhile, this guy has been swayed. He's at plus 63. So should I end the scheme to sway him? Is he still in a faction? He is still in a faction. Oh, this guy. See, all you did by joining that faction is remind me that you exist. Can I revoke your title now? Yes, a year has gone by. It's an active tyranny, so I lose 100 fame. Everyone loses 20 opinion of me, but everyone likes me, and I'm maxed out on legitimacy. So I don't really care about either of those negative things. So I will revoke his title, and he can go back to Navarra. I almost said France because I was reading the the chat. Message here. Are you trying to form an empire like Hispania or Francia? Yes, I am. Currently, we have the Kingdom of Valencia. I have to wait until the funeral is over, by the way, to deal with this guy. But you just reminded me that you exist, so I'll pin you. And why do I have this guy pinned? Why are you pinned? I'm sure there's a reason why I pinned you. Why did I pin you? I don't remember why I pinned you. No, his wife is the. Oh, the hook, right. I'm going to forgive the hook after the funeral. Okay, so these two are both after the funeral. What's this fire? What does this fire symbol indicate? He does not have the fire symbol here. Why is there a fire symbol here? Is it because I just pinned him, maybe? I'm going to go with that for now. So, yes, back to your question. Right now I have the Kingdom of Valencia. If you look at the kingdom titles within Iberia, that's one of the many titles. Barcelona, for some reason, well, I know the reason. Because the Aghlabids conquered me when I was still Barcelona, and then they conquered France and formed the title of the Kingdom of France. Barcelona now technically falls under French lands, even though it's not. And it'll take 87 years for it to become Valencian lands, which is why it has the teal stripes, because I hold it and I'm the king of Valencia. So it'll take 87 years for me to convert it into part of Valencian lands. But the same is happening in Navarra. I just took it a year ago, so it'll take 99 years more for it to become part of the Kingdom of Valencia. Currently, it's its own kingdom. But the longer you hold land, the more the people of the world know that land as part of whoever is holding its kingdom. But one of the ways to end the Iberian struggle is, if you look at empire titles, to form the Empire of Hispania, unite the entire peninsula of Iberia, and you can end the struggle. And so that is my long-term goal from when I first started playing the game. And again, Barcelona, for some reason, is considered part of Francia and not Hispania. I keep saying for some reason, but I know the reason. It's because of the Aghlabids being all crazy. I don't know why they conquered France in the first place, but it led to their downfall, because French lands just kept becoming independent, then they would go to conquer it back up, and while they were reconquering it, another piece of land would become independent. And the Aghlabids, as I said in earlier streams, just kept playing whack-a-mole in France, which completely distracted them from their conquering that they were doing before that, and they couldn't expand any further than France. But yeah, my long-term goal is to form the Empire of Hispania and end the Iberian struggle. I have 3 unread messages. Doesn't look like I do. So let's go back to the funeral. 3 months left until it ends. I'll take a sip of water while we wait. Morning Star, which is a double entendre. It's a wordplay there because we are in mourning. However, all eyes fall upon Infanta Tota of Murcia as she falls to the ground in lamentation, hands coating her reddened eyes from view. Tota of Murcia's sorrowful gasps and chokes have left her fellow mourners breathless, and many offer her comfort and reverence as if it were her who was to be committed to the hereafter. And then I get jealous and say all eyes must fall upon only me, and that's a combined learning and prowess challenge. My learning is currently my highest stat, and I think prowess is my second highest. I don't know, I went all the way down to 11. I got minus 10 from my old age, so it used to be at 21 prowess. That's unfortunate. So I probably should not get involved in any more battles. I don't think I have any wars in mind at the moment anyways, before I die. But yes, so that last time I said this was going to be my last battle, turns out I was actually factually correct that time. But yeah, learning and prowess challenge. So 79% chance I gain legitimacy and prowess and piety. I don't really care for either of them, especially since there's a 50% chance I grow closer to forming a rivalry with my own daughter. It does help me lose stress though, because I'm forgiving and zealous. However, that's only 13 stress. This one helps me lose 39 stress. I can offer my daughter comfort And I still lose 39 stress. Plus, she becomes my friend, and she's my daughter. So I would like to be friends with my daughter. I don't really need the piety anymore. I'm close to death, and piety does not get passed down. Nor does prestige. The only thing that you pass down to your heir is your gold. So I would like to use these up somehow, but there's not really much I can spend it on. So I'll offer her comfort, and we can be friends now. We bonded over the shared loss of a loved one, and I'm no longer overwhelmed by stress. And my grandson even gained a friend, so that's nice. I gained 50 piety because my wife impressed this guy, who's my half-brother, by the way. The grief of the brother. Hunched beside me, bereft of the pretense of propriety, the inconsolable Toda gazes out into the nothingness before her. That is quite the sentence, Crusader Kings. Holy. A lot of SAT words in there. Not a tear falls from her eyes, not a word passes her mouth, until she turns to me. God can be cruel indeed. Why does the wind still yet blow? Why does the sea continue its push to the shore? Why does my body ache for food and thirst for water? The end times is upon us. My brother is dead. Quite the drama queen, my daughter. I could say, now remember, we must not allow grief to overwhelm us. But that would help make me gain stress. But I only gain 8 stress because I'm zealous. But she'll lose 25 opinion of me. She currently has 100, and that's because it's capped at 100. I have way more than plus 100 on these modifiers. So even if she loses 25 of me, she'll still be at plus 100. So keep that in my back pocket for now. Let's look at the other options. While there's life, there's always hope. I lose 20 stress regardless of which option happens. However, this learning and diplomacy challenge has a 99% chance of being positive. And she gains 15 opinion of me. A 0% chance that I have to spend 50 piety and she loses opinion. So we are going with this for now. And then quietly nod would just lose me 20 stress. Well, they both lose me 20 stress, but this one will at least get me 100 piety. So while there's life, there's always hope. Yes, we're friendly. My wife's diplomatic skill impresses, and I gain 150 prestige. So that's great. One of the greats. Before me, a feasting table is stocked high with all manner of food and drink, as if Infante Jofre of Teruel were trying to offer a final act of magnanimity. Let me try that again. A final act of magnanimity before parting. Infanta Constanza of Mallorca, who has so far refused to lay a finger on this banquet, however. Oh, she's my youngest daughter, the one I spoiled when she was a child. Swilling her goblet around in idle solace, her middle distance stare falls wearily upon me, and with a quiet nod, she raises her drink high. To Infante Jofre, truly one of the greats. Greater indeed, and I will be greater still. I would never say that about my own son. And I even gain stress because I'm zealous, and I don't like that. So this option is just completely off the table. I could just respond with to Jofre, right? I lose 20 stress because I'm zealous. Tell us what he really meant to you. And she gains 15 opinion of me because I showed kindness. But she's my daughter and I spoiled her, so she's already at plus 100, which is because of a cap. Yeah, so she has almost no negative modifiers. So even if she loses opinion of me, it'll still be 100. So there's no need for her to gain 15 more. I could speak a quiet prayer, and that'll lose 39 stress. And that is the highest stress loss. So I'll speak a quiet prayer. A month left until the funeral ends, and my stress has gone down to 31. Ooh, hold on a second. Berenguela and Marcella just got into a brawl at a funeral. Wow. Now that is very reality show for them to just break out and get into a brawl at a funeral. I've been to a few funerals, not many. I can count them in one hand, the number of funerals I've been to. So I'm not by any means a funeral going expert, but I don't think I've ever seen a brawl break out at a funeral. I don't know how common that actually is. But yeah, they got wounded. So let's go back to it. 2 weeks until it ends. Margarita and March became friends. Mortal youth. I feel a quiet calm wash over me, gazing around the room of mourners. Some eyes are stained red, others would see this as like any other cause for a gathering. One soul, however, looks to me with uncertainty as he tugs at my side. My grandson Roger does not weep openly, but does not seem unmoved like many other children present. King Bernat of Valencia. What happened to Joffre? Why is everybody sad? I could say do not worry yourself, child, but I gain a bunch of stress because I'm forgiving, honest, and zealous, so neither one of my 3 traits likes this answer. But he loses 15 stress, but because I like playing this game sort of to what the character would choose themselves, there's no way I would choose this option. All 3 of his traits hate this option. So I could tell him he's in heaven now. And I lose 20 stress because I'm zealous. 99% chance I grow closer to forming a friendship with Roger. Roger still loses 10 stress and gains comforted for 15 years, which less stress gain and more stress loss. And he likes me more, which is good because he's not at 100. So it's good to get that plus 15 from him. And there's a 0% chance for the other option, so we will tell him he's in heaven now. And then all of that stuff that I just said happened. And now our moment in time. I also lost 15 stress because someone just told a joke. That's what just popped up here. I lost another 15 stress because someone told a good joke. So our moment in time. Of all the figures venerated and villainous, none have been desired more than our departed Infante Joffre of Teruel. With his crowd of weepers and gawkers finding other subjects to satisfy their fascination, I am at last left with a moment of solace between myself and my son. A time for quiet prayer would only gain me 8 stress. Allow myself a moment of grief would lose me 20 stress. And I promise to be a better king would gain me 32 stress. However, my stress has already gone down to 0. So if I promise to be a better king and gain 32 stress, that's legitimacy gain. I don't need legitimacy. Am I still maxed out on legitimacy? I am. So I don't need that. I mean, I guess this gains me 100 piety and this only 50. And this one would only gain me 8 stress, so a time for quiet prayer is fine. And the funeral is over. Oh, wait, now the wake begins. Is that what I saw? No, wait, the wake is over, now the funeral begins. Okay. Dust to dust. Now the time has come to commit Infante Joffre of Teruel's final rites before his final journey into the hereafter. Joffre's enshrouded body is held suspended above an open grave, surrounded by close friends and family. Stood at his head is you, a privileged place of mourning afforded to only a magnanimous host. I look upon the lifeless body of my son and lament. No father should ever live to see his own children be so cruelly snuffed out. At last, his body is lowered into the earth, and the funeral is officially completed with a prayer. Beautiful. Okay, I'm engaged in the burial. Scheme is discovered. Right before the burial ended, Alderic is trying to kill Khadijah, the brooding fiend. And the funeral's over. So let's finish it. And then there I go back home. Oh, I'm paused. There I go back home. And I gained 11 Wanderer trait. I believe I'm already maxed out on that Traveler. Yeah, I'm already maxed out on Wanderer. What I need is Seasoned. So we're back home. We spent 288 days and traversed 1 barony. Thank God I can go inside again. Okay, so now we're back. Funeral's over. these guys. I'll get to you in a second. I can declare wars. Yes. I know this. Leon. Leon is next, but what's this? My granddaughter does not have a guardian. She is 6, focusing on diplomacy at the moment. Base 3. Her personality is diplomacy and intrigue. Base 3. Base 3. Okay, that's fine. This helps prowess. This helps nothing. And she's focusing on... Okay, everything's fine. Let's educate her with someone who's good at diplomacy. Is this my chancellor? Yes, he is. He looks like the best diplomacy teacher, so he can do that. Whose daughter is she? Alvar, my youngest son. Send that proposal. Yes. Send the proposal. I'm not declaring any war at the moment. Okay, that's enough for the messages. While I'm here, I might as well look at if any other children need educating. No, it's just these 3. As you notice with that girl, where she has a personality, charming, this personality is not developed until a child is 3 years old. Which is semi-realistic, because before 3 years old, they're just basically toddlers and infants. They can barely speak. But once they're 3, they develop a personality, and the personality will tell you what you should educate them in. And so I don't like to educate any of the children until they're 3 years old and they develop their personality. So we will keep these 3 there for now. And now we can focus on these 2 guys. So first and foremost, you. Oh, wait. The only reason I have you there is because you have a hook. And I can abandon that hook thanks to my forgiving trait and lose some stress. But even though I'm forgiving, I do not have any stress. And so I do not need to do that. So I'll keep you there for now in case I get stressed out later. I did learn Iberian Vulgar. That happened a while ago. So our culture's main language is Dialk Vulgar. However, most people in Iberia speak Iberian Vulgar. I believe there is a language map at some point. Yes. So my entire country speaks Dialk Vulgar, and Sicily, which is held by my nephew, also speaks Dialk Vulgar. Corsica does not have a court language, but that's because my brother holds it, and he's a duke. Duchies do not have a court, so they do not have a court language. You need to be a king to have a court, or king level, so a sultan can hold a court, or can have a court. But the rest of Iberia speaks Iberian Vulgar, so that's why I learned that language. Navarro, for some reason, speaks High German. I don't know how that happened. And then this little piece of the Aghlabids speaks Arabic. And then I don't even know how to pronounce this name. They speak Arabic. And these people are duchies. This is Cordoba and Isbilia. Yeah, so I think this is Zenzir? Zenksir? I don't even know how to pronounce this name. But they speak Arabic. And they're also Maturidism, which I believe is the only place I've seen this religion. Like the faith map, even the people within this kingdom are not that religion. It exists here, and then for some reason over here, I don't even know how that happened. But now it's spreading in the Aghlabid Empire and into Hurt. But I had not seen it anywhere else. What's over here? The Jews hold Mecca, but Maturid holds Medina. Wait, so does Ashari even have a holy site? Oh, okay. They hold Jerusalem and Sinai. That's rare though. Usually Ashari holds all the Muslim lands. It's from all the times I've watched other people play Crusader Kings, Ashari are the predominant Muslim religion. But in this gameplay, it looks like they are not the predominant Muslim religion. Imami is huge in the east. Muwaladi holds most of the Iberia. And the Ashari here are broken up between Ibadi over here, Maturidi over here. Is Ibadi Muslim? No, I don't think so. Oh, it is Muslim. Okay, Ibadi is Muslim. It's even bigger than Ashari is. Land-wise, anyways. I think a lot of these are unpassable terrain. Like if I were to click on this. Oh no, it's not unpassable. But it doesn't contain much land within it. Right? What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at religion. This is why. If I just look at the actual map. Yeah, there's one city here, and then the rest of it is completely empty. It's all desert. But yeah, it's a Yidi Muslim? It is. Okay, so this is rare. And it's funny that I'm encountering it in my first gameplay of Crusader Kings 3. That Ashari has been marginalized as much as it has. It's still pretty big. I mean, it still takes up a lot of land. But usually Ashari, everything you see in green currently is usually all Ashari. And at the moment, it is not. Imami, like I said, huge in the east. Ooh, Maturidi over here as well. Wow, okay. Let me look at this religion. The Samanid Grand Emirate is the ones who started this religion. And their holy site is up here. Yep, Samarkand. So they started up here. Eastern Muslim religion. That's very rare. Let me see. Yeah, the Samanids started this religion, I assume. And every single time I look, Mongolia just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Killed his family. But he's a conqueror. And that is not good. The last thing you want is a conqueror in Mongolia. Fortunately, however, Genghis Khan doesn't appear until the 1400s. And we're still in 990 AD. But Genghis Khan is usually considered to be like the final boss of Crusader Kings. Because 1400 is about as late as the game says you should play. And so the Genghis Khan and the Mongolian Empire doesn't pop up until then. And when they do, they very quickly take over all of this land. But for now, we don't have to worry about them. And we don't have to worry about this guy because I have no stress, so I don't need to abandon that hook for stress loss. But this guy, we definitely have to worry about. Because this is a Prince of Navarra who is currently holding land in my kingdom and is my vassal. And if he were to die, that land is inherited by the Kingdom of Navarra. So while he is still on his way from the funeral to Navarra, I will revoke his title. I don't care if it's an act of tyranny because I'm very close to death. Who cares if you don't like me? Plus, everyone does like me. So if you like me a little less, you'll still like me a lot. He may become an adventurer. That makes no sense. If I strip him of the duchy, he is still a Prince of Navarra. There's no need to become an adventurer. Plus, I believe I have the other two princes of Navarra in my prison. Oh, no, it's not Navarra. Is it Castile? No, it's Leon. Okay, never mind then. I was about to say I have the other two princes of Navarra in my prison, so you're like the only successor. But no. You are still the king's primary heir, though. So even if I strip you of your title, you're still the heir to the kingdom of Navarra. So I don't see why he would become an adventurer if I strip him of his titles. Makes no sense to me, but I'm gonna do it anyways. 56% chance that he'll accept that. But rather than declaring wars that I can declare, I'd much rather do that, because if he does not accept my revoking of his title, he'll rise up in rebellion. My flag is already here, so what I'm going to do, get ahead of the game by raising my men-at-arms right here. I'm not going to raise my full army because I don't need it to deal with this kid. Let me see here. Yeah, he has 200 soldiers. And he has no allies, so I definitely do not need it. And then I'm going to unpause and see how he responds. If he's okay with me revoking his title, then great. We can just disband our army. But if he's not, our army is already at his doorstep. Even before he is, because he's down here somewhere and we're making his way back from the funeral. So let's unpause, see how he responds. Oh, I see no choice but to bow to your decision. Just so. But he did call me abhorrent. Abhorrent? Which I know means a bad thing. I just don't know what the exact definition of that word is. Just so. So you can all get disbanded. I didn't need you. And now these 2 pieces of land are mine. But I do not want them. But I will keep them. No, I will not keep them because I'm over my domain limit and that disables the buildings. And now you can see I'm making 0 gold from either one of these 2 spots. So these are de jure part of the Duchy of Cantabria in the Kingdom of Castile. So whoever I give this land to will in the future become the Duke of Cantabria. So I want to make sure to keep it from my son here who's invading this guy who I wanted to make the Duke of Vizcaya. Yeah, this is part of the Duchy of Vizcaya. And the good thing about that was I don't need to create the Duchy of Cantabria. I already have it because it was already created. Where did he go? Did he become an adventurer? Oh, he's traveling. And he's unlanded. But it doesn't look like he became an adventurer. He should go back to Navarre is what he should do. Okay, so did that mess up my succession now that I have an extra duchy? It did. And for some reason, she would gain that duchy. That makes no sense. So now I have to figure out who to give this duchy to. I could give it to my player heir, and then when I die and play as her, I'll have the 2 duchies again, and I can make a decision then. That is what I could do. Do you have any land? Oh yes, you have this little county here. Yeah, so I already gave you this because I didn't want to deal with it myself. I wanted to let her deal with it when she takes over. So I think I'll do that with this piece of land as well. I'll just give it to her. Is that the best idea? Let me think. Because if she dies, Teruel and this land will go to her. Lucia. However, if she has more children and she dies, the land will be split again. Just like with my son when he died, he gave Teruel to her and then he gave Ibuscoa to this kid. Oh, he's not losing as badly anymore. I wonder what happened. It's not like he got more soldiers. Oh, he has an alliance with his sister, my player heir. That makes sense and that is perfect because she has 300 soldiers. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, it would make sense for her to ally herself with her brother over her uncle. Especially since their father died. and she's 20, and all of her siblings are minors. So she would feel like she has to take care of her siblings. I mean, their mother's still alive, but her mother is currently her personal physician. Yeah, so if you think it out roleplay wise, it does all make sense. Everything that's happening. It's making sense game. I guess I'll give that land to her then and go with my plan of just giving it to her and having her deal with it once I die. I don't want to be over my domain limit because then I would not be making as much gold. So I'll just give that land to her. Grant titles. She cannot be given land she does not stand. Okay, so does that mean I have to give it to someone else? Can I give it to this little girl? Ooh, okay. I think this might be screwing me now because I do not want my children to have multiple duchies. But my second son does have 2 duchies. He has Barcelona, but he also has Languedoc right here. And the only reason the whole thing is called Barcelona is because Barcelona is his primary title. So if I give my third child, my first child is dead. My second child has 2 duchies. And then my last 4 children all have 1 duchy each. So I guess I could give my third child a second duchy. But they don't connect. I know what I can do. Rather than giving her the duchy, what if I grant her... Oh, I can't even give her just the cities within? Okay, this is going to be annoying. What if I give her the temple? No, she cannot get it unless she holds the county. And I cannot give her the county because it's my realm capital. Okay, this is going to be annoying. Can I give her husband the duchy? And then when they die, her child will inherit both of them. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Do I want to do that, though? What if I gave it to my wife? No, I don't want to do that. I definitely do not want to do that. No, do I want to do that? Because my wife's primary heir would be the same as my primary heir. No, wait, actually, no, it would not because this is my second wife. And my 2 oldest sons were from my first wife. Yeah. So her primary heir would be Brunisenda, which is why I do not want to give... Well, not which is why. That was the wrong term to use. But I do not want to give Brunisenda the duchy. This is why I'm working on all of this in the first place. Okay, so how do I make sure that no one else gains the Duchy of Cantabria? I think as a king, I'm allowed to hold 2 duchies. So when my granddaughter takes over, as a queen, she'll be allowed to hold 2 duchies. And she'll have the Duchy of Valencia and the Duchy of Cantabria. So how do I make this? Oh, I really have to think about this. How do I make it so that my succession isn't totally screwed? This is my youngest daughter. She has the islands, including Ibiza, the party island down here. But Ibiza, after my cousin died, was passed on to this lady, who is not matrilineally married, which means our house will lose this island in the next generation. Unless, oh no, she's already married. How unfortunate. To a 61-year-old, and they even have a child. Oh, this is awful. Okay, so I can marry that child, who I believe stands to inherit all of this eventually, in like 3 generations. I can arrange a marriage with him and one of my younger house members. He is Herculean. So my granddaughter here. I'm trying to find someone who will not be related. Okay, they're not related. I mean, they are related, but they're not technically. Close enough to be inbred is the problem. And then make it matrilineal so that their children will be part of my house. However, I would like to find someone with other traits. Ooh, Arsenda here. Also my granddaughter. He is the grandson of my half-brother. So that would make them third cousins, which makes sense. So this is why they're not related. For inbred reasons. This is why they're not inbred. Okay, so I will arrange this marriage between the two of them. She has these 2 traits. And because she's Amazonian and he is Herculean, once they have children, their children are guaranteed to be either Herculean or Amazonian, depending on whether they're a boy or a girl. They'll inherit that trait. So I will send that proposal. Wait. Her son. She lost the first one. This son. And I was going to say, what if I marry her children to him instead? But she has a son. And I don't think... Should I wait? See if she has a daughter? And if she does, betroth the daughter to him? I think that would be the best choice. That way the same family will be holding the island of Ibiza. It'll be Constanza's family. I think that's what I will do instead. I will wait to see if she has a daughter. Meanwhile, Menorca is currently held by... Oh, does she have both islands? Okay. Oh, he died and he did not have any children, so she inherited it. That's perfect. I was trying to get it away from him for a while now. I even fought a war with him. That's why he has a claim on the grand city of Majorca. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but there's some music outside my window happening. I think the music of the game is loud enough where you can't hear it. I don't know. Well, my mic keeps acting like it's picking something up, so I think you could hear it. Okay, so Menorca will be her, or is hers. So she has the Republic of Majorca, which is just the Duchy of Majorca. And then she has the Grand City of Majorca, which is this island. And then the Grand City of Menorca, which is this island. And the City of Palma, which is this little city within the big island. So if I marry her daughter to the boy who is intended to inherit Ibiza, then her family, Constanza, her family will own all 3 islands eventually. So that's fine. However, this whole thing was a big tangent because what I'm trying to focus on is this little piece of land, this sliver I just inherited. Or I just got by stripping this other guy. Maybe I should have waited to strip him of his title. Hindsight, though. There's not much I can do about it now. I've already done it. That deed has been done. So... this is... What if... Let me actually click on the land itself. Amaya. Grant 2. Ooh, what is wrong with my nephew's face? He has lover's pox. And he gave it to his wife. Oh, this is my brother's children. Okay. Count Juan. Mualadi. I can't convert them because they're not in my court. Wait, she has 2 children? The Countess of Foix. So she married the Count of Foix, had a child. The Count of Foix died. Her child inherited, and then she, incapable, cannot have children. Who's the primary heir? Who's this guy? Who? Okay, this lady. It's not a matrilineal marriage, but this lady is the Baroness, and he's just married to her. But how is he the primary heir of some random person that is just a stranger to him? They don't know each other. So how is her primary heir him? That makes no sense to me. That's her wait a minute. This is all in Barcelona, so why is... Oh, okay. Okay, that was another tangent, but yes, that makes sense now. This guy. So, I don't want to keep this land. What do I do? I would like members of my house to inherit it. This is the Duchy of Cantabria. So I will not give it to my children or their heirs. What I could do... Actually... I could give it to this kid. No, I could give it to this kid. Which is still her younger brother. So if I granted him Cantabria, yes, that works out. So then she will have another brother as a duke. So her second... She's the oldest. Her second brother is currently the Count of Ipuscoa right here. And this is her third brother, and he would be the Duke of Cantabria. Meanwhile, the Count of Ipuscoa, once I take over this land here, will upgrade into the Duchy of Vizcaya. So then her brothers will be, the second brother will be the Duke of Vizcaya. The third would be the Duke of Cantabria when she becomes queen. Yes, and then her uncles and aunts will own all the other duchies. Okay, that is perfect. See, all you had to do is just think it through a little. And it sure takes some time, but eventually you can come up with a solution. And I'm quite happy with this solution. However, I think I still keep Sedano, but that's fine. So I will grant him this title. And now he becomes my vassal because he's the Duke of Cantabria. However, is that the capital of the duchy? The de jure capital? No, the de jure capital is up here. What did I press? I don't know what I pressed. The barony of Santillana is the de jure capital of the Duchy of Cantabria. Yeah, so this county here would become part of Amaya and Asturias de Santillana, combined to make up the Duchy of Cantabria. And then I will take Vizcaya as well. Combined with Ipuscoa makes the Duchy of Vizcaya. Okay, those are plans for my granddaughter, for when she becomes king. For now, my plan is to take Leon, and then Galicia, the capital of Galicia. I don't think I'll live long enough to see that. I have been saying that for about 10 years now, though. And I have lived long enough to see most of what I said I will not live long enough to see. You know, this guy doesn't have to be pinned anymore. -3 opinion of me. But that's including the -80 from revoking his title. So he likes me a lot. Because even with that -80, he's still just about even. So we will unpin him. And they both converted to my religion. So unpin him. And hopefully the goal is that he goes back to Navarra and spreads my religion. So that's enough of him. And now I'm back below my domain limit. He did not get Sedano, but apparently he did get Sedano. Okay. It's not. Okay, so he got everything I wanted him to get. Interesting. What does his troop count look like? I want to make sure his uncles and aunts can't bully him and conquer him. He's got 267. The Duke of Navarra has 577. Does he have any allies? Wait, they're not even in my country, in my kingdom. That's fine, I guess. Okay, so the only reason I'm not attacking Leon at the moment is because I have a couple of prisoners. Are these all related to me? Yes, they are. Sons and grandsons and granddaughters and daughters. And then potential alliances. They're all members of my house. So I don't need an alliance with them because once I start a war, I can just call any member of my house to war. And I'm not demanding hostages. If you demand a hostage, all it does while you hold that hostage is that it increases your prestige per month. But my prestige is already crazy. I would like to reach legendary figure, which is the highest level of fame. Currently I'm on level 5, exalted among men. Level 6 is the highest legendary figure. So I would like to reach that before I die. That's a nice little goal to have. Well, it's not really a goal, it's more of an aspiration. It does give me one more knight. Number of knights +4. My current level of exalted among men gives me number of knights +3. So I would like one more level. So what to do now? I've lost all my stress. I don't think I want to go to war with anybody at the moment. Or do I? Maybe it's just because the game hasn't presented me with a good enough option. Cordoba has 3,400 troops. When did that happen? Cordoba would be good, except Emir Yaish here is my friend. He's ill and he has lover's pox. Hopefully he passes away, then I can attack. And they would lose all their allies because the allies are with the liege. So if he dies, whoever takes over for him, this guy, will know. Oh, because he only has daughters. These are all daughters. And Ashari is definitely not equal. It's male dominated. It's not even male preference, it's male dominated. So if it's male preference, if you don't have a son, then at the very least, then your daughter can take over. But if it's male dominated, even if you have a bunch of daughters, if you don't have a son, your children will not get it. Which is why this guy can get it. And who is this guy? How are they related? Don't tell me he's his brother-in-law. I don't know how they are related. He married her and she's albino, which is why she's so pale, even though her children are not. But he married her. And she's special because even with that male dominated, she is the sheik of Malagon's noble. Not her. And it's even a matrilineal marriage, which is very rare for a religion that is male dominated. So I don't want to attack Cordoba or Tahert because that's down here in North Africa. Adrids and Italy both have more soldiers than me, and Galicia has 2,200. Yeah, so if I were to attack someone, it would be Leon. But I do not want to attack Leon at the moment because my prisoners need to be ransomed out first. That's a lot of money. Wait, he at least had 1 gold before. Now he's down to 0? I mean, he's 43. So this will probably happen in my granddaughter's time when she's queen. So let's look at my court. No children to educate. I think let's let some time go by because I believe there's really nothing to do other than wait to see if something pops up. The Christian play in Valencia. It has been brought to my attention that Welf, a renowned Christian playwright, intends to hold a performance of his work titled Mephistopheles' Inferno. The price of admission is steep, but this is likely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness a Welf play with my own eyes. I might gain learning lifestyle experience if I go, or I gain 32 stress by not going because I'm zealous. So if I say I will not make light of God's creation, that just saying that would stress me out because I'm zealous. So that sounds like what it means is that being zealous means attending the play. So a pious night at the theater it is. Let me lower this to 3 speed. Beelzebub's Inferno. As I watch the play unfold before me, it quickly becomes clear why Welf is so well known as a literary genius. The prose, the performance, all of it makes me feel as though I am witnessing the events of the scriptures unfold in front of me, as if I were there to behold God's work myself. Once the play has drawn to a close, I find myself alone with Welf. You must teach me to interpret the scriptures as you do. And I would lose stress because I'm zealous, and I gain 50 learning lifestyle experience, but I pay him 50 gold. Or I could say I could write better than this, and I might gain a learning lifestyle perk. It's a learning challenge against Wolf. So my learning is my best stat, but it's only 21. Which is excellent, obviously, but there are plenty of people in the world who are better than me. So let's check out Wolf. Learning of 4, that is terrible. Okay, yes, I can beat him in a learning challenge. I could definitely write better than this. Now let's wait for the next pop-up in the event. A Christian play of my own. I did create a religion of my own, so it makes sense I want to write a play of my own. It has been quite some time since I originally vowed to outdo the inferior work of Wolf, and as the ink of my scribes grows dry, I admire my own work. 2,000 Valencian Nights is a work deserving of being called a masterpiece by my own humble reckoning. The only question that remains is who should play the lead role. Okay, so Welf's play was called Mephistopheles' Inferno, obviously a play on Dante's Inferno, and now my play is called 2,000 Valencian Nights, which is obviously a play on 1,000 Arabian Nights. Is it 1,000 Arabian Nights or 3,000 Arabian Nights? Oh, that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to look that up. What is the play? No. What is Arabian Nights? 1001 Arabian Nights is what it's called. So I was wrong both times. It's not 1,000 or 3,000. It's 1,001. So yeah, that's what this is based off of, obviously. So who plays the lead role? Myself in disguise, of course, which is a diplomacy challenge against Wolf. I will attempt to outperform him in a duel using my diplomacy skill. However, I remember when I looked at Wolf, his best stat was diplomacy. It was 16, yes. And mine, I think, is only 14. Oh, it's 17. So I would win, but that is a little too close for comfort. Liege is a natural charmer. Ludolf is my steward. His diplomacy is 18. It's one more than mine. And Ludolf will like me more. He's plus 15. He's already at plus 99. That'll at least get it to 100. He is my steward, right? Yes. My brother as Marshal is down to 20. Because he keeps getting older. Can't really stop that. He is still technically a powerful vassal, but if I replace him... No other powerful vassal would be good at that. My next Marshal is probably Godwine. But again, that was a digression. The point is, I want to make Ludolf be the lead actor, not me. He's got one more diplomacy than I do. Dramatic debut. I take my seat amongst the audience, watching Ludolf as he begins his performance of my masterpiece. To my delight, he delivers a performance worthy not only of my writings, but of God himself. As the crowd erupts into applause, I am assured that I outdid myself and showed Wolf how a real Bernatist writes a play. What a great night for Bernatists everywhere. I gain 1 learning lifestyle perk, 100 piety, and 75 prestige. So let me pause. And now that I have the perk, I will get mental resilience. Although I'm not dealing with stress anymore. So maybe I'll wash my hands. Plague resistance up. Because I'm quite healthy, but if anything can take me out at the drop of a hat, it's definitely a plague. And this would give me a massive health boost as well. Meanwhile, if I get mental resilience, I'm just going to have to get wash your hands next anyways. So I'll go with wash your hands, iron constitution, and then mental resilience. If I get that far. I keep saying that, but you never know. I do have the know thyself perk though. So if I'm 1 year away from death, the game will give me a warning. So that's good. So I know I have at least a year and a day left of my life, because I have not received that warning yet. So we will wash our hands. It's always a good idea. And that event is over now. Well, I also already have 300 per experience. So I'm only 700 away. Now let's look at religion. And let's look at culture. Ooh, my culture has spread here. This is new, this county. Castilian is only 30 acceptance from me. I don't know why it's so low. We both diverged from Visigothic. However, they diverged from Visigothic. I diverged from Visigothic and Occitan in the year 800. So that must mean the Visigoths disappeared in the year 800, since all these cultures broke away from them. How about Basque? Is Basque the same? No, Basque is its own culture. It existed way before that. Aster Leonese? Yep, diverged from Visigothic in the year 800. And then Galician? Again, from Visigothic in the year 800. So the Visigoths must have owned all of this except for Basque. Meanwhile, my brother, even Andalusian, came from Visigothic and Bedouin, which is still around, is it not? Yeah, it's over here in Arabia. So my brother is currently trying to convert Sardinian into Catalan. Meanwhile, my vassals are trying to convert this Occitan into Catalan. And up here, they're trying to convert this French into Catalan. And over here, they're trying to convert this Basque into Catalan. No, this is held by an Occitan ruler, so he's trying to convert this Basque into Occitan. And then this Basque is currently trying to be converted into Catalan. Which, if both of these things happen, Basque will disappear from the map? Yeah, because this little sliver of Basque is trying to be converted into Maghrebi by the Aghlabid Empire, which holds all of this land. So Basque will disappear from the map. There's this little sliver here, but even that, I see orange stripes. So it's also being converted. So Basque might disappear from the map pretty soon. I like seeing how big my kingdom is on the map. But I also see how big my culture has gotten on the map. You can actually see it completely zoomed out, unlike these little spots over here. But when the game started, it just existed on these 3 islands and in the Duchy of Barcelona here. Those were the only places that had the Catalan culture. So we're slowly expanding outward. Shaquille Oatmeal 69. That is a great name. Welcome. I am not currently murdering anyone. I like to try and play the game mechanics based on the character stats, and my character has a 1 in intrigue. So intrigue is definitely not what we would be focusing on with this character. However, if you watch any of my previous streams, earlier in this gameplay, I had 2 characters who were intrigue focused. And I think it was Duke Gosbert. Yeah, 24 intrigue. So I focused a lot on murdering people, kidnapping people, and my favorite of all, finding secrets in other people's court and then blackmailing the people for those hooks and demanding payment. Easiest way to make money in this game. And then this was the first character I played as. He was a diplomat. But I did venture into some intrigue with him, if I remember correctly. That's why he has the fornicator trait. Yes, because I used the seduce scheme. So I went down the seduce tree in his intrigue. So we are currently making some money. And once I have that money, I think I could create the duchy. Where is it? The Duchy of Vizcaya. I think that should be our next short-term goal. Get 212 gold. Form the duchy for my grandson, so that he stops getting attacked by my son. Although it's down to 5%. So they're fighting back, yes. Because his sister, my player heir, has become his ally. So that's good. I do not want him to lose this land. So let's put this at 4 speed again. Oh, who's this guy? Oh, Mercia. Okay. Who are they attacking? Okay, that's my player heir's army. They're not attacking each other, are they? They are attacking each other. The last thing I needed. Okay. Someone's trying to kill my knight Deodat, who I believe is my best. No, he's not my best knight. Okay, so it looks like... Okay, what is this? Swear oath of true friendship to the benevolent king, Bernat, my brother, my companion, my confidant. Will you join me in declaring our friendship to be the truest and brightest in all the world, with all the debts of loyalty that entails? That entails. I do not want him to have a strong hook on me. No, I will not. He loses 50 opinion of me and gains 40 stress. That's fine. We're friends, but me, the player, doesn't really care if he dies. In fact, the only reason I haven't attacked Cordoba is because he's my friend. I would prefer it if he dies, actually. As the player. As the character, obviously not. How come I'm not making more pushes into Al-Andalus? That is the reason. Because right now, let me decline this. Yep, he lost 50 opinion of me. Still at plus 93 though. So I don't care. Currently, of the Al-Andalusian land, all of this, half of it is held by Cordoba, the other half by Isbilia. That borders me. Zanxier over here doesn't border me, so I can't really do anything about that. However, of these two, Cordoba, the emir, is my friend. We're friends, so I wouldn't really attack him. It wouldn't make sense. And Isbilia did something which I really got annoyed at. Right when the conciliation phase began, one of the perks of the conciliation phase is that you can pay someone for a truce. And this guy, the Craven, makes sense because Craven means cowardly. This coward, right when the conciliation phase began, instantly paid me to become for a truce. And the truce, because he paid for it, was like a 14-year truce. Currently, it will only last for 23 more months, so it expires in the 995 AD. But this truce has been going on for 14 years, and I haven't been able to attack him because of it. How do you befriend your religious rivals? You know what? That is a great question. I have no idea. When I was playing as his mother, as the Duchess of Sarah, when I died and took over him as, because he was my player heir, when I took over as King Bernat, this friendship already existed. I have no idea how this happened. Beat up the Christian kingdoms and Iberian states. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been spreading slowly through the Christian kingdoms. So Navarra, I've already taken most of Navarra. If you look at the Duchy of Navarra, I own all of it. If you look at the Kingdom of Navarra, I own almost all of it. There's like one little county left. Meanwhile, I've also taken this sliver from Castile, only because Castile is further south than their de jure kingdom would entail. They've gone south of the mountain range here. This mountain range. So they've taken Madrid and Cuenca. Cuenca? I don't know how to say it. Duke Gothier has been swayed. So is he's still at plus 74. I don't have anyone else to sway, so I can keep swaying him. He's the only member. Oh yes, because the other member was the Prince of Navarra, which I stripped of his title. But he's got plus 74 opinion on me, and he still wants independence. Is there any way I can make this land fall under my house at some point in the future? Let's see here. His primary heir is already married. I remember that. What I need is for this guy to die, and then arrange a marriage with her and a member of my house, so that the children will all be members of my house. Or I can wait until they have a child and marry that child into my house. Why does he have a different liege from his wife? Okay, it's because he owns this county. No, he doesn't. He is this person's chancellor. But his wife is the Duke's spymaster. Okay. And also the Duke's daughter. Okay, so I have to wait for them to have children. That's how I can gain that land. Meanwhile, if I look at all of my other French territories, Toulouse. Okay, great that he imprisoned his wife. That is great for us. As long as his wife stays alive but in prison, they cannot have any children. And as long as they cannot have any children, his daughter, 7-year-old daughter, will remain his primary heir and his only heir. And the reason I want his daughter to take over is because his daughter is currently betrothed to a member of my house. And it is not a matrilineal marriage, so their children, once they get married, will be of my house. So the Duchy of Toulouse will eventually, within 3 generations, be ruled by House March. So that is perfect in Toulouse. His house flag had a cross and who's this guy? No. Whose house flag had both combined? I could zoom in and look at all the flags, but I don't see anyone who has the Christian cross and the Arabic crescent moon. Oh, the Muslim emirs. Oh yeah. It has something written in Arabic and it has a Christian cross. Huh. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. House camp is Puigcerda, but Puigcerda is my territory. Puigcerda is right here, I believe. Yeah, right here, the barony of Puigcerda. That's weird. How does the HRE work in CK3 since it worked as a confederation in real life with loose states inside it? Guessing your realm is just gigantic, but gotta always elect yourself to stay in power and high tax. Yes, so to answer the very last comment you said, cadet flags, they do exist. The best example, the easy example is you could see my house march. My brother created his own cadet branch, March Ajaccio. Ajaccio? Ajaccio. And you can see my house flag and then his own, the flag of Ajaccio. Ajaccio is a city right here. It's the county. Half the county of the former Corsica he owned before he took over Sardinia. So right here, you look the county of Ajaccio, and that's the flag of the county of Ajaccio. So he ended up forming his own cadet branch and using the the coat of arms of the House March and the flag of the county of Ajaccio, and combining them into one cadet branch flag, coat of arms. Using real life knowledge to understand some of these dynasties. Well, that is not a bad place to start, because this game does try to be realistic to history as much as possible. A lot of the characters that exist within the map are historical characters that actually existed in history books. So I can't think of a good example. I do know, for instance, everyone loves Brittany, because the county of Montague, that's what I was looking for, Montague. So if you look at title history and you scroll down to the beginning of the game, Count Hastings here was a real life person who existed in this time period. And everyone loves the Hastings, so a lot of people like to play as him to begin the game. And there are plenty of examples like that all throughout the map, not just in Europe, but also here in Asia and in Africa. And there will also be pop-up events within the game where a new religion just comes into existence out of nowhere. And that is based on actual emerging religions that happened in history. I'm trying to see if there was one here in Catholic lands, but it looks like they got rid of them. The Bogomalist was one, but there was a Cathar emergence around here, and it looks like they got rid of it, so that's gone. But these are the religions on the map at the moment, and Tengri is huge. This is the Mongolian main religion, unformed steppe faith. So it's, I believe, Mongolia's main religion, and their holy sites have 2 here in Mongolia. But yeah, they have expanded all the way here. I didn't even notice that. They are bordering the Byzantines and the Slovianskan religions here in Eastern Europe. So they've gotten far. This is modern day Ukraine or Moldova, maybe. So they've gotten all the way into Eastern Europe, this religion has. So it is huge. There was another comment you made that I wanted to oh, the HRE, right. So how does the HRE work in CK3? I did want to answer that. That's basically Ukraine and Moldova. Yeah. So I'm good at my geography. I know places. But yeah, that's pretty far east for Tengri. They are by far the largest religion on the map. I'm trying to look to see if there's a second comparable. I think Manichaean? I don't know how to pronounce that. Manichaeism. And Orthodox. I think these are the 2 who might be second largest. Ashari's a little confusing because of how thin it is here in North Africa. Actually, I think I can just look this up now that rather than trying to eyeball it, I could just look at, sort by counties. Catholicism has the most counties, but I think that's because Europe has the most counties. There's Catharism. It looks like it was wiped out. 0 counties. But these are Christian faiths. Let me uncheck only Christian faiths. And yeah, Catholicism and Orthodoxy are the largest. Tengri and Ashari are 3rd and 4th. But I believe that's because a lot of these lands are uninhabitable. Catholic looks bigger than... Yeah, you're right. You know what's confusing me is Scandinavia up here, because the Asatrus control it, and they're currently trying to convert Catholicism. I sort of saw it as gray rather than white. So I thought it was Asatru gray, not Catholic white, but it is currently still Catholic. Hasn't been converted yet. Even Iceland up here is Catholic, not Asatru. So yeah, Catholicism is definitely bigger. The game says it's the biggest religion in the world at the moment because of counties. So they hold the most counties, but again, that's because Tengri looks huge on a map. A lot of this land is uninhabitable. Yeah, so you have mountains, blank spaces with mountains that it's just unpassable terrain. And even in here in Mongolia, a lot of these, if you look inside of Mongolia, is mountainous, where people don't really live. So that makes sense why Tengri, even though it's so large, is only the third largest religion. But to get back to your question, which I wanted to answer, I keep forgetting and going on tangents. The Holy Roman Empire, which is a good question because Valencia, let's just use as an example. If you look at my realm and you look at succession, currently our succession law is high partition, which means all children inherit. However, the primary heir gets the bulk of the land. If I were to change that law, there are other ways where you can do it. The Holy Roman Empire has a confederate partition. No, not a confederate partition. They have confederate partition.